out of apartment 5B.
You're now tuned into the Apartment 5B podcast, where we chop it up about hip-hop, R&B, sports, love and life. Hosted by Kill.
Move from the gate now.
What's good? You are tuned to Apartment 5B podcast hosted by your man Kill. I got my squad with me in effect. As always, if you follow us and you rock with us enough, you know me and Porsche have this crazy relationship. She goes on strike. I don't pay her enough. Everybody else is always cool with just rocking for free, except my co-host right here. So as you can see, we'll go to her screen, and it's just, you know, that's what we got. So
good to be here.
Prayerfully, we could work this money thing out. It's always constant back. You thought Joe and Maul and Rory and all them had beef. You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes with Apartment 5B and payment plans around here. I don't pay Porsche enough. I tell her I work for a nonprofit. You think she gives a fuck that I try to help the kids? She don't care. It's all about the bag. I get it. I totally get it. I got my brother Ev in the building, man. What's good, bro?
I'm good. Peace to everybody. Also want to take a moment to say thank you to y'all, man, because I seen y'all names in there when we was going through the fire things out here. A lot of people showed a lot of support, words, encouragement, actual monetary stuff. So I just want to say thank you to the whole community out here, man. I appreciate y'all. That's a lot of love, indeed.
No doubt. We just glad that you and the fan back in effect, man. Y'all good. That's what it is. JR, what's good? The R&B guru.
Ain't nothing. It was good to be here, man. I missed last episode. Y'all killed it, man, but it feels good to be back, man.
All right, and if you all can see the reflection of this is what growing up in the hood in Philly does. Like I've learned to look through the reflections of things, because riding the train.
Come on.
I'm just saying, you watching the Knicks game that I can see in the reflection of your glasses. You watching the Knicks game, so I was just letting people know that if he seems kind of off to the side, the Knicks are playing. That's all, nigga. It wasn't no. Damn, Porsche. Now I can't. Vang, what's up, man? What's good, bro?
I don't know.
Right, man. Porsche on strike. JR about to cut me. Like, god damn, man. Y'all done heard the week I had, and it's already here. Cal, what's good, bro?
Always good to be here. Missed last week's, but good to be here.
Yo, back to what you do best, the t-shirt game. If y'all think my low game is dope, Cal's hip-hop t-shirt game is dope. Relativity Records, we talking Shi Ali, we talking the Beat Nuts, we talking Fat Joe in the OG days. Definitely dope indie label. If y'all don't know, go dig on some of that Relativity stuff. I got my brother Easy out here. What's going on, bro?
What's the word, baby? What's going on, man? Always glad to be here, bro.
Always. Talk about this new project, bro. Talk your shit, man.
I would say I missed last week's episode like everybody else, but I wasn't invited. But we'll get to that another time.
Yo, I give up. I give up.
New album, Drug Money with my dog Finelli is everywhere right now. All right. We had the dog.
But we getting away from the streaming shit, bro. Where can they copy?
My Bandcamp is up and running, man. My catalog's fully loaded on Bandcamp. I've been sleeping on that for as long as I've been a rapper, which is crazy. But I literally just put the finishing touches on that like 2 hours ago. Like I uploaded it. I'm Easy Money ST everywhere. The name's right on the screen. Easy Money ST everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Cash App, Venmo. You want to send me some money or Bandcamp, whatever. Same name everywhere.
Yo, that's the more of the story, y'all. And the reason why And the reason why I say that, y'all, real quick before we get into it, last week I said something and it pissed off everybody. I was like, everybody was happy the SOS band was on streaming. And I'm like, yo, the fuck? Y'all don't have to wait for your favorite groups to get on streaming to listen to their music. Like, God forbid you go out and buy it. God forbid you go outside and you go to the record store and everybody, I mean, it was hundreds of people. Yo, who you a music snob? You know, what if I want the shit on my phone? Nigga, y'all do know that there's a way to buy a CD, rip that shit, and put it on your phone. Like, and niggas, I'm just like, yo, I'm trying to help you niggas. Because here's the dead ass thing. I knew niggas who was like, damn, we can't listen to Daylight till it gets on streaming. And I'm like, no, nigga, you can. Like, what do you mean you can't listen to Daylight until they get on streaming? I'm like, you niggas are like those people who be on the escalator and the escalator broke and they just standing there waiting for somebody to fix it. Like, nigga, you can walk down the steps. Like, it's not the fucking elevator that's broke, it's the escalator. Like, you know, you can still walk to get to where the fuck you want to go. So no, you don't have to wait. I got a metaphor for everything. Y'all know me, but
You do.
that's the thing. Like, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for your favorite groups to get on streaming sites. And people were like, oh, but I want it on my phone. I've had people tell me if me and Vague's music wasn't on Bandcamp, I mean on streaming, that, you know, it's too much to go to Bandcamp. And I'm like, it's too much. Like, it's too much for you to open another window in your browser. Like, this is how lazy we are. So fuck going to the record store. You know what I mean? Fuck getting on the XH and the H to go to Sound of Germantown, or getting on the 6 and the Sub to go to Funko Mart. Y'all won't even open up another window in your computer that's already open. I'm not asking you to log on and put in your password. It's already up. But if it's not in iTunes, you're telling me you're not going to go do that, because all people want is convenience. And my biggest thing at the end of the day was, it's convenient for the fan, but what about the people making the music? You know what I mean? Just take a minute, go to Bandcamp. Then niggas was like, oh, but you know, the SOS band be like, CDs be like $200. Nigga, that's because you won't get out your house. Go to your local mom and pop record store. I promise you could probably find the SOS band album, a 12-inch, for under $4. I promise you. But you got to put your phone down, and you got to, God forbid, get up and go the fuck outside and go look for the shit. But the problem is we're so spoiled. What's up, baby?
Can I help support your point right now?
Go right ahead, bro.
I bought these two albums. This is Kendrick Lamar's GNX, Snoop Dogg's Missionary. They both stuck. I still bought them. I hate both of these albums. I'm a collector, right? I'm a collector, so you know, you can, if you like it, go buy it. I don't like either one. I streamed these shits and I ain't listened to them since. And I still bought the CDs. So Kill's absolutely right. I'm just saying.
Right. So that's the thing.
I understand the convenience thing, but still, dog, like, there's a way.
Right. And again, it's not just young boys, because it's people my age, 50 and above, who talk that same shit too. And I'm like, bro, you gotta just look for it. Like, niggas like, oh, yo, but the physicals be too much. I'm like, dog, I got the same thing. I got Kendrick off of Amazon for $12.99. Like, nigga, that's too much. You know what I mean? Yeah. So again, I understand the convenience of being in Apple Music and you just want to stay in Apple Music, but just if you want to support the artist, and that's the difference. I told people that's the difference between a fan and somebody who's just the casual music listener. The casual music listener don't care. But for the fans out there, you can't tell me you're a fan of the SOS band and you ain't heard Take Your Time, Do It Right in 32 years because it wasn't streaming. Like, you got to do better than that. You know what I mean? So, y'all know me. Well, let's get right into it. Well, let's get into it after my whole spill. This week, if y'all know me, I'm always on Twitter. People will say a song, I'm like, yo, that gotta be a top 20 song from the 80s, or the top 10 song from the 90s. And then somebody was like, yo, Kill, well, what is your top 10 song from the 90s? And I was like, yo, it's a good question. I never thought about it. Let's chop it up about it. Now, y'all all know my co-host Porsche, who's on strike, detests doing 10. She detests it. So I'm sure she probably has about 35 songs right now. But that is the hard part.
I stuck to the 10.
So, no, I actually upped it to 12. I told you that.
Oh, right, you did. Okay, good.
So you can add another 2. I added another 2 just for Porsche, and she's still on strike. Look at that. So that's what we're going to be chopping it up about tonight. Top 12 dopest hip hop songs from the 90s. If aliens came down and asked you, yo, what are the 12 songs I gotta listen to understand hip hop in the 90s, what would these be? P, as always, my mother raised me right. Ladies first. What's your first two? Give me two of your songs. And also, I want to know how you went about doing it. But we could get in that in the middle. But give me your first two songs.
Okay, so my first one is Razzcast's Nature of the Threat. And I just feel like it's extremely important when there's music like rap, like hip hop, that's supposed to be like telling the stories of real life, like real, actual, raw experience. Razzcast's Nature of the Threat is wildly ignored and kind of skimmed over and skated past. And if you actually like read the lyrics, listen to the lyrics, and dissect the song, it is just so, it captures everything. It's timeless. Like, it's still valid, obviously, because it's historic. It's about, like, you know, white people and colonizers and these kinds of things. And
no, Bush, not tonight. We not going
no,
there.
I'm just saying that it's very important. These songs are very, very important. And I think that it's even more important that hip hop has like eyes on these songs and ears on these songs, because they do, like, it is timeless, truly, with the way that we see the world and how it is and how it's not getting better even, maybe slowly, but all these things are still very valid. So that's my first one. And then my second one, not my favorite song ever, but I think it's wildly important, Tupac's Changes. That's not my go-to song. It's not my favorite. I don't really love it, but another one that just captures, like, I remember, Kill, we did a show in the middle of COVID, and we were talking about what kind of music is happening right now that is going to kind of capture what we're going through as a society right now in 2020, and we couldn't think of anything. Of course, Tracy Lee came out with Glory, and then, you know, that was a really good thing, but Changes is that. It's like a time capsule of Pac's rendition of what was happening all around the world, socioeconomically, the drug thing, the racism, the politics, like all of it wrapped up into one song. So again, wildly important to me, absolutely on my list, even though it's not my favorite.
All right, no doubt. For people watching, y'all may not know this, but Porsche is much more Malcolm than Martin. I know y'all probably think she's real Martin Luther and she's real cool. That's Malcolm X right there. So y'all just throw it out there. And P, real quick, how did you put your list together? How did you go about compiling this?
So my criteria is honestly its influence, its impact, and its importance. Those things. I don't care about charts. I didn't think about my favorites. I thought about different aspects of it, of each track, and what it sort of influenced and what it captured. So that was my personal criteria.
No doubt. For me, the way I did this, it was kind of bug. At first, I started naming songs. I'm gonna just name a whole bunch of songs, and then I'll pick which ones. I was like, that wasn't working. So I literally went and looked at albums that dropped each year, and I would write certain songs out. Like, okay, I'd underline the ones I thought like were dope enough and everything like that. So that's how my list kind of came together, looking at every year. But I won't hold y'all. When we got to 94, like almost everything was underlined. So I understood at that point in time, I can't take one from every year or one or two from every year. So that's kind of how I put mine together. The first song I got is coming out in 1990, PE's Welcome to the Terror Dome. Man, you know, when people talk about, I know if you weren't outside, I get it. But when somebody told me this on Twitter once, like, yo, does Chuck D have a Shook Ones? And I was like, nigga, okay. Before there was a Shook Ones, there was a Welcome to the Terror Dome. And if you was outside in 1990, and let me define outside, because this boy told me this on Twitter this week, and it was funny as hell. He's like, Kill, I'm not much far behind you in age. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I went to this dude's page. He talking about albums that dropped every year that he lived. And like, he was born in 84. I'm like, nigga, I'm 10 years older than you. What do you mean you're not that far behind me in age? But so again, when I mean outside, I'm talking about if you wasn't in high school in 1990, you may understand this song, you may not. If you were in high school, you understood Welcome to the Terror Dome was an anthem. That thing was huge. I understand you play Shook Ones at the club and it rocks the roof and all that. Yo, you play Welcome to the Terror Dome in the Spectrum in Philly in 1990, nigga, you got 20,000 people losing their mind. So that joint is definitely an anthem to me. The next joint I got up, 1991, The Choice Is Yours by Black Sheep. To this day, engine number 9. I don't care where you're at. You could be at a funeral. If they play it, you just gonna be like, God bless the dead. You're gonna scrunch down. You're gonna jump up and start doing your thing. So those are my two from that. On the R&B side, I got Poison from 1990 with BBD. We talked about them kind of on the last show. Nobody expected anything from these three dudes. This would be like if the Pips got bigger than Gladys Knight. Like, that's how incredible what BBD did to New Edition, that they were that big. So I got Poison, and then I got In Vogue's Hold On. That song was crazy. It was everywhere. That was a banger. I don't care. Hood dudes was rocking that. Women was rocking it. I don't know anybody who, again, if you was outside, and I'm defining outside as high school, you heard In Vogue's Hold On, you was gonna be banging your head to that. So those are my joints right there. Ev, what do you have up on your list, and how'd you put yours together, bro?
All right. When I put my list together, and you said from the 90 to 99, I was thinking like, well, during that time period, high school and college and stuff like that, and then back into Philly. And so I split it up in three categories. One category was like friendship. There's certain songs that I have strong friendships with. Like there's certain cats and certain crews you ran with, and you hear that one song, everybody rushed to the floor because you know where to find everybody when that one song came on. So I have a couple. So that was one. There's a couple songs in that category. The other category was what I call craft, which was different songs that inspired me to either dig into MC or dig into striving to be a better MC. So there's certain songs on that time period that had that connection. And my last category was what I call emotional connection, or you could say spiritual. There's certain songs that just feel like you in church, or certain songs like there's and I'll start with that one. There's one song, LOG, Love Comes and Goes. During that time, it was like the first time I dealt with death. One of my cats that I went to school with in ninth grade, he passed away. I think we were our senior year during that time. He passed away from an asthma attack. And that was the first time I had like a hip hop song connected to like someone transitioning. So one of my first song would be Love Comes and Goes, LOG. Also in that category is just Stakes Is High, man. Stakes Is High just feels like I'm in church when I hear that shit. It's just something about that track. It's one of my favorite songs of that era. And it's always going to be, the thing that really like resonates for me. You said just do two right now, right?
Yeah, two right now. Yep.
Yeah, so that's my two.
All right, bet. Vague, how'd you put your list together, bro?
I think I was thinking more so about obviously impact, but songs that felt like they were moments in hip hop where you felt like, even if you had a small crew of friends, or your friends were just at school, or you knew a bunch of people, some of these songs, or if not most of them, felt like big moments where people were talking about that record and the impact of that record. So one that I got up is Ice Cube's Today Was a Good Day. I thought it was dope when I just heard it, and then the video was just so perfect for for everything that was there. Obviously they didn't play everything out, especially the end, and being almost like a segue into another song. But just the fact that he was storytelling in a different way, saying all these things that usually happen in the hood aren't happening. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about them dudes across from me. I don't have to worry about the cops. I went to the basketball court and I was Michael Jordan that day. Like, just like the perfect day in the hood. And just for him to end it and say, what the fuck am I talking about? You know what I'm saying? It just was a really dope song that I think a lot of people like in the music. And next, the other one I have is Wu-Tang, Cream. I don't, like, they had Method Man and they had Protect Your Neck, but there was something about Cream. Like, the songs, the lyrics, the video, like it was just raw. You know what I'm saying? And it just felt like, damn, this group, this their debut. Like, you know how typically in hip hop we like, let me see what they do next. But it was kind of like, who the fuck cares? This right here, I'm ready to call it a classic because it's just so different. And I just felt like if everybody knew about that record, you know what I'm saying, even if they didn't know about the Wu and all of that. And again, I remember when I first heard it, I couldn't even get over the beat. I was just like, this is like some sinister sounding, like just perfect soundtrack for that time in hip hop. So those are my first two.
All right, no doubt. Easy. What about you, bro?
I got a quick question. Are we including the R&B in the 12? Or did you do two separate?
I did two separate lists. I did two separate joints.
Okay. So you one hip hop, one R&B?
No, you can do two hip hop and two R&B.
Okay. I just wanted to say real quick before I get into that with Portia Strike, now I understand my place here. Kill called me to bring the lights in. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to do that. You know what I'm saying? The way I did my list was this, right? My criteria was very personal, like just songs that I really, really have always moved me. Songs that kind of like, you know, in my young days, kind of like changed the way I look at music and hip hop, and you know, the beats that made me move and all that. And I made it a point to stay away from my favorite, and aside from two joints that it was impossible. I stayed away from my favorite MCs. I also stayed away from Premier and Pete Rock because I wouldn't have made it in time. You know what I'm saying? So off top, I'm going to 1995, and this joint, man, like I wish I could just play it because I can't explain it. But when that beat drop and y'all hear it, you're like, oh, I get it. And that Smooth the Hustler, Broken Language.
Oh yeah.
That shit drop. That intro, doom, 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 and you know what it is, and immediately you just want to break something. You know what I'm saying? Shout to DR period. That's a super duper. It's one of them joints that is an undisputed hip hop classic, but it's not always going to be mentioned. So that's my first pick, and my second pick, I'm going to go a lot more popular actually. And, you know, a record that 1991 that really embodies everything that hip hop should be. Fun, you know, the dancing, just good energy. And that's Heavy D, Now That We Found Love.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you incorporate the R&B element, which is very much hip hop. So for any you know, boom bap Avengers out there that don't get no pussy, that will never be like, oh no, that ain't hip hop. R&B and hip hop go hand in hand. All right, go have sex, bro.
Hold up, we got a boom bap Avengers. We gotta note that one down. That is a good one.
I'm boom bap to the depth. That's what I do. I live and breathe it. I make it. But dog, like, act like you like women, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He said, "Just act like it. You don't even got to, but just act like it.
Come on, my dog. Like, I don't know, bro. You know, it's like I just hate that we got so far detached from the fun in hip hop, where it came to a point where it's like you make somebody dance and you sold out, but the whole shit started from parties.
Yep.
And we got to a point where we abandoned. I hate that. I never subscribe to that way of thinking. I hate it. You know, you know, there's an R&B hook on a song. Oh, he sold out. Like, bro, sound like a virgin, bro. Shut up. Anyway. Rest in peace, Heavy D, man. Icon right there.
No doubt. And anybody who watches Apartment 5B, know we big up Hev all the time.
All the time.
You know what I mean? All the time. Cal, what's up, bro? Talk to me. How'd you come up with your list, bro?
So I looked at more so of the eras and how music changed throughout the decades. So I'm looking at, you know, even from, I think about Common's lyric, talking about how hip hop has moved us in different places. So I was looking at, you know, East Coast to West Coast, South, Midwest, and stuff like that. So I kind of came with my list like that. But that being said, I'm starting in Queens. So.
Oh, we already knew that, nigga. I mean, we knew.
So my first two joints are Live at the Barbecue, 1991, main source. I think about just the posse cuts. You think about the symphony in the 80s, and I think about that with the main source, obviously your first Nas, and just a dope posse cut. Then my next one is Tribe, Scenario, same thing, at the 1990. So I think you just look at the 1991, excuse me. The same thing, posse cut. Got Busta, got Leaders, I should say, on the song. Just a dope posse cut as well. So
break out Busta verse.
Oh, Busta,
very significant.
Yeah, Busta just, I mean, you can see right there he was head and shoulders above everybody else, in the group and all. So
right. Yeah. That's legendary right there. JR, what you got, bro?
Oh man. Cause I did mine because you sent in the text, you said kind of like the Bible, but it's gonna end up in the museum or whatever. So I kind of did mine like Vegas. It's kind of like more of the popular one that had the moment.
Right.
So since y'all took about 4 of mine has been taken already, but I'm gonna say Juicy from Big, and that's not even I'm not even a big Juicy head, to be honest with you, but when you talk about him, you got to talk about that record for real. So I mean, like, that got him over, you know what I mean? So with that, and the next one, I'm gonna say My Mind Playing Tricks on Me by the Ghetto Boys.
Okay.
And I remember as a kid just hearing that song all the time, and everybody was rocking with it on the campus. So I was like, oh yeah, this is a big one. So I go back to that, and I know a lot of people talk about, and that was a big moment for the South anyway. So I got those two as far as hip hop. Now R&B for real, Kill, you took 2 off the break, but I'm gonna go this way. 1 in a Million from Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to stick with Timbaland. I'm going to say Pony for those two. When he did them 2 records, it was different. It was like, there's no more R&B. It's different now. It's a different sound we got right here. So
game changes, JR. Game changes.
Yes.
Pony by Genuine?
Seminal.
Yes.
Seminal.
Okay, I was just wondering.
You ain't starting no shit without the camera on. Like, that's gonna be when you on strike. You can't start.
Okay, fine. I got it.
I think it's Genuine. I don't think Porsche likes Genuine. I think she likes to see him fall off stage now, and she likes to see him get the divorce through Soleil. Like, I think that's where we're coming. Because last week it was 100%. It was so anxious. Now she's like, you say Pony? Like, you don't like Genuine. That's fine. That's cool.
I think that's what it is.
I get it.
Yeah. So yeah,
right,
so those are the 2. Those are my 2 for R&B.
All right, P, right back to you. What you got up next?
Okay, my next one. I'm not as disciplined as Easy. I couldn't stay away from Pete Rock, so I got Troy. And I guess you guys like how predictable. Perfect song. Production wise, I think that sample, the horns, like everything about it to me is just, obviously it's perfect. However, I think that also it couldn't have been anything but influential. I can't imagine anybody listening to that and not wanting to do something that dope or make a sound that kind of signature style. Like it just is that song. So it just could not be left off my list. Again, I'm not as disciplined as Easy. And then my next one is Fight the Power, Public Enemy. For the same reasons as like Nature of the Threat and Changes. I think Public Enemy has the most important album in all of hip hop, and maybe in all of music, to be honest. And for me, Fight the Power is like a track from that same kind of style. It is talking about all of the issues that were happening at the time, and they did a fantastic job kind of making it engaging. Everyone loves Public Enemy. I don't want to know anybody who doesn't love Public Enemy and their albums. So those are my two on my list.
All right, no doubt. I'm gonna come right behind you with Troy for all the same reasons you said. Perfect hip hop song, incredible beat. CL killed it. You know what I mean? Especially, I think we gotta give CL some more props, because a lot of times we be like, we don't be know what the fuck CL be talking about, but we understood. You know, we know Aunt Joyce. You know, run your own business like Aunt Joyce. So I felt like that was a joint that he really keyed in on, and you could definitely know what he was talking about. To me, just one of the greatest hip hop songs ever. I'm now going up to 94 with Mass Appeal by Gangstar. I think that joint was just, I remember the first time 889 played it, was just like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I love the scratching, which is, of course, the Youngsters with the Mass Appeal joint. So that was dope. And then they hear the backstory later on down there. It's like, yo, they was trying to make fun of radio. And that's why it kind of sounded like elevator music to sample. And to just make that kind of song, trying to make fun of radio. And again, it becoming one of your biggest songs. I think it's probably their biggest song is Mass Appeal. So just crazy how that happened. And then over on the R&B side, I got Forever My Lady by Jodeci. You know what I mean? People don't understand that back in 91, this is not 2005 where people be having baby showers for 12-year-olds. Like, you were not getting pregnant like that in 1991 in high school. Like, you just wasn't. You know, no, dead ass. Like, back in the day, for young people watching, you would get pregnant, your parents would send your ass down south for 9 months, and then you'd come back with your cousin. Okay? Nobody was admitting that their teenage daughter got pregnant. Now we just don't give a fuck. I'll be getting invited to baby showers for 12-year-olds and gender reveals for 14-year-olds. Like, how the fuck we having a gender reveal? You ain't even in 9th grade yet, and we having a gender reveal. So this was not the norm. So Forever My Lady, like, so you're having my baby, that was a huge thing. And what I loved about it wasn't even on some hood shit like, you having my baby, it ain't mine. It was like, nah, you having my baby, and it means so much to me. Like, we gonna do this. You know what I mean? So I love that. And then I hate this song, but if I'm looking at it, it's some of the biggest songs in R&B at this time. Motown Philly by Boyz II Men. Not that I don't like Boyz II Men, but I just hate that song.
God,
I hate that.
Kill lighten up, dog.
Nah, it's not about lighting up.
Bro.
You see the two dudes above you is from Philly. We hated that
song. Bro. Lighten up.
Then they was outside Pat's. It was like, these niggas, y'all wouldn't be the type of niggas that eat at Pat's, don't y'all? Fucking niggas want to walk they crush home to their boyfriend house and then go eat at Pat's and shit like that. Like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? So, what you say, Ev?
I said with a Velcro vest sweater on.
Yeah. We was like, nah, bro. And then Biv on the toilet taking a shit, like, and Quest in the closet playing the drum. Like, yo, that whole video is just off, man. I don't know what it is. But as much as I hate the song, it was everywhere, and it put us on to one of the greatest groups of all time. So there you go, Motown Philly. Ed, what you got up next, bro?
My next two is going to come from my crew pick. These are joints that, you know, the first one is when I was in Morgan, the crew that was up there, it was a bunch of, you know, peoples that I'm still very much close with to this day. But it's one of them joints where it's like, if we had one of them parties and they, you know, you hear that joint come on the speakers, everybody's on the floor. And that first one is going to be Shook Ones. I know it's a well-known track, but that was the one that got us, you know, we were just one of them wild out kind of songs. And then the one after that, same idea, different squad of people, my BNP cats from back Philly. If we was at whatever club we was at and Soundboy Burial came on, the video version, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. So those are my two, that's what I call my two crew tracks right there.
Yeah, that's dope. Dope joints. And I love you said the video, because the Soundboy Burial, the video version is so much doper than the original version.
That open, you can't beat that.
Yo, I apologize. After this and Boyz II Men, I didn't even go with that. My bad. It was supposed to be End of the Road.
That's what I looked at you like. Motown Philly?
It wasn't Motown Philly. My fault. It was supposed to be.
It was the Motown Philly. That set it off. That set it off.
It set it off. I just hated it. But End of the Road was just so big. You know what I mean? I think it was bigger. Because again, the way I did my list was like the aliens are coming. What are the biggest songs from this era? So it's like End of the Road was over Motown Philly. I just didn't cross it out. So that was my bad. So it should have been End of the Road. Same premise. Niggas walking around looking fucking lonely. The scary dude talking about just come back to me even though you cheated. Just no, let her go. It's okay, bro. Know your worth. That's the thing that I want to tell people out there. Y'all need to know your worth, man. And that's the problem. People don't. Scary dude could have got another girl. Stop letting these chicks cheat on you and then want them back and everything like that. So that was End of the Road. Vague, what you got up next, man?
I also have Gangstar, but I have DeWitt.
That's a dope pick. Woo.
I think it was like almost unexpected from Gangstar to kind of have a joint like that. That was like, yo, this is like a party banger, like, you know, without even trying. And it was just so dope. And everybody was just like, I mean, obviously DJs had the vinyl. But I remember like looking for it on, what album was that? Daily Operation? Daily
Operation. It was supposed to be on Daily Operation or something, and it ended up on Hard to Earn.
Yeah, I was looking for it on there, and I was like, what? Like, it was like this hunt for that record because it was just so hot. Like, the beat, Greg Nice, obviously, with the hype man style of rapping. Everything about it was just dope. The way Primo was scratching, it was like, it gave Gangstar another layer. And it probably introduced some people to Gangstar, you know, because it's almost like a gateway into, right? Like if you just like it because it sounds like a jam, it probably made you check out Gangstar's music if you hadn't already. So, which would have been hard to earn because that's the album it wound up on. So,
and Vague, real quick with the Wick too, it introduced a lot of people to Nice and Smooth too.
Really?
I mean. That's how I feel really because I was checking for Nice and Smooth since Kane's second album on Pimp It Ain't Easy, you know,
right.
and all of that in No Lane. But I do know a lot of listeners, not diehard hip hop heads, was like, "Yo, it's Smooth B and Greg Nice," you know what I mean? So, and a lot of times when my man who said Smooth B was a GOAT MC, he always went to Smooth B. No, that's off of the other joint. Forget about what I'm saying, man. It's been a long week. My bad.
Glory.
Yeah. Now I just spinning it out.
She hated him. Like every time he would rap, she'd be like, "This nigga." She was way younger than me. I used to be like, "Damn, why you hate this man that much?" Like, yo. And the other one I got, Naughty by Nature, OPP.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this fucking record is hot. Like it was, because at the time I didn't have the album. Like I had friends at school who had it, so I hadn't heard everything. So OPP was kind of like, you know, my gateway into in the video in particular into Naughty by Nature, and I got it right away as soon as I heard the sample and just the Tretch, very underrated MC in the hip hop game for sure. Can make hits, can spit, got wordplay, technique.
Come on, man.
Everything. Like Tretch was everything. And he displays it on OPP like flawlessly. So because I remember my mother, like all she heard was, "You down with OPP?" Oh, she heard that shit alone. She'd be like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, like other people be doing." I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look it up yourself.
Right.
But yeah, man. Yeah, that's one of those songs that just felt like, you know, me being in Brooklyn at the time, at that age or whatever, in New York, it just felt like it was the song of the moment. It was just everywhere. So,
right. Yeah. I think the other thing about Tretch doesn't get enough credit for just Naughty in general, to be able to make radio songs that still banged. You know what I mean? Like even Ghetto Bastard, like that was still is on the radio, but like, yo, you hear what this nigga is saying? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like everything, Hip Hop Hooray. Like I remember being at Morgan in '93, Kel, when that came out, and you had everybody waving their hands in the air. Like, you know what I mean? Like it didn't matter.
To my Phil House, so. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing too that Naughty doesn't get enough credit for. People were saying something. I was saying, yo, KG is a very slept on producer, not just only on the hip hop point, but on the R&B. You look at all that Close and Next and Janae, and it was another group, Coffee Brown, Jaheim. Like, yo, and then he did Cruise Pop for the youngsters. I mean, you know, KG got a bag, man, in both lanes, and Cash really got to do that. So it's a great love shout out for Tretch, but we got to give KG some love too. Easy, what you got up next, bro?
Before I get into these songs, I wanna say to y'all that I read body language very well. So in case y'all missed it, when JR went like this, that means the Knicks blew a lead and the game is tied. Just for y'all, in case you missed it.
That's enough. No, it was not. No, it was not. No, I did that.
Oh my God!
If y'all go back and look, I did that when Kill said,
because
Motown Philly.
Yeah, and I was like,
JR, we all know the Knicks.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We are. I stop because I'm over it. But
yeah, we got. I think we got it. I think.
So, like the recurring theme with my list, like I said, I didn't like, and I'm glad I left out, you know, the obvious because I knew y'all would mention them, you know. But just to give, you know, some other joints that maybe like a tier below in as far as impact, some light. The beats, man, it's the beats that just automatically move me. When I was a youngster, and these beats moved me. I'm going to 92, Redman, Tonight's the Night. Just, you know, when that shit drop, and then rest in peace, Hurricane G. Yo, what up? You know what I mean? Get off that. Come on, man. Then that shit come back.
Oh yeah.
Like, yo, if that doesn't move you, like there's certain shit, right? You know, we always say, yo, this shit is subjective, but that shit don't move you. You just not hip hop, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel, you know? So we definitely gonna give a shout out to the Funk Doc. And then I'm going to 94, man. One of the most, my opinion, one of the most infectious hip hop beats of all time. Shout out to Easy Mo B. I'm going Craig Mack, Flavor in Your Ear.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I mean?
You doing original or the remix? Which one?
I'm doing the original because, like I said, I'm staying away from all my favorites. But I heard the original first, and that shit moved me just as much, if not more, than the remix. So it's valid. You know what I'm saying?
No. I'm with you 100%.
I don't want to get too far on my R&B. So real quick, I'm gonna go 92, The Queen. This intro alone, once you hear this shit drop, you know what's coming. Mary J. Reminisce. That's my shit for life. I love that record. That shit stands the test of time and some. And then I'm gonna go to 93, another timeless classic. Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk? One of the best R&B records I believe ever.
Yeah.
We ain't gotta think too much about that one. Super classic. You know what I mean? I'll let y'all have it now.
Yeah, that's it right there. The other, I'll talk on Flavor in the Air later. Cal, what you got up next, bro?
So I'm gonna leave Queens. I'm gonna go to New Orleans, Juvenile, Ha. Song I don't like, but I can see the movement of how the sound was going to hip hop, where, you know, Cash Money was, as I said, 99, 2000, right? So you can see that movement was coming.
Right.
And then I got Souls of Mischief, 93 to Infinity.
Yeah, pretty much.
93. Bay Area, like spitters, rhyme, just a dope song. Obviously, played now forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's one of those joints you play that, like you said, for it till Christ comes for His church, and it's still gonna be like just 93 to infinity. Just sounds and it feels good. It's like, whenever we're talking about that feeling, it just feels good. You know what I mean? So those are dope picks. JR, what you got up next, bro?
Oh shit, I'm taking all of mine. I'm gonna say DMX, Get At Me, Dog.
Mm-hmm.
It was like he took us out of that shiny suit era, so it was like, okay, thank you. You know what I'm saying? So definitely a moment for that. And then I'm gonna say Nothing But a G Thing.
Okay.
Obviously. So That, man, I went to one of my homeboys' concerts and they put that on, and you had white people rocking to it, like it was just like they knew all the words, but I was waiting on them to say "nuh," and I was like, all right, cut. But nah, they did. But nah, again. But when that joint come on, it's crazy. So those two is very impactful for the R&B. I mean hip hop, and then R&B. I'm gonna say, "Hey, Mr. DJ."
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw it. I'm just throw it. I don't even like this song, but when you talk about 90s R&B, it seems like everybody loved this damn song. And it's This Is How We Do It, Montel Jordan.
I knew you was gonna say that. I hate that fucking song.
I can't stand it either. I am not a big fan.
If you want to know what hell would be for me is being stuck in Walmart for eternity. Like I can't leave Walmart, and every television is playing Dirty Dancing, The Breakfast Club, and This Is How We Do It is blasting on the loudspeaker, loud as hell, for eternity. That would be my personal hell right there.
Yeah, but it was a big 90s record. I mean, if you're going to talk about 90s R&B, you have no choice.
You're right.
I'm not a big fan of the record, but you got to talk about it. So those are my two.
Yeah. I know. What's that other fucking song? I hate Return of the Mac. I hate
that was on my list too, but yeah.
God.
You don't like the
I like it. As horrible as he sounds, but I like it. So.
You like Return of the Mac, but you like So Anxious.
I was about to say, and you don't like So Anxious. How do you not like So Anxious and Pony?
You
can't. You're on strike. You gotta wait till the camera comes back. Gotta wait. But why is it that every time we go to JR, it goes right back to Porsche? Like it goes right back to you, Porsche. So go ahead, Pooey. What you got up next?
Actually, I'm going to echo JR because I've got Nothing But a G Thing, and that really, for me, I feel, and it's true, it impacted West Coast a lot. That G-funk sound that everyone talks about and everyone tries to like incorporate, that came from Dr. Dre. That came from these songs, and Snoop gets catapulted into the like mainstream off of that, right? So Nothing But a G Thing is super important for West Coast, for Snoop, for Dre, for the sound. So that's definitely on my list. And then Brenda's Got a Baby by Tupac. Again, another song that addresses these issues that were happening. And Pac, what I love about Tupac is he wasn't scared to address it in a very like in your face kind of way. He's talking about teen pregnancy. He's talking about the government. He's talking about like, issues within the family, criminal activity, like all of these things wrapped up in a song. This very marginalized and very specific niche group. Now, all of a sudden, there's like this awareness there, and that's super important in life, like in general. Again, these are issues that don't stop, and Tupac does an amazing job highlighting that, and that's kind of a theme, obviously, as we know, throughout Tupac's entire life and interviews and music and stuff. Brenda's Got a Baby is definitely on there.
Right. No, that's dope. And how did I know Pac was going to end up on your list more than once? I tried to give everybody one spot. You know what I mean? Because I felt like these spots are hard to come by. But P, I know Pac was going to end up on a couple of yours. Next up for me, I got Come Clean, J. Rue. Nice. I remember the first time hearing that, the drums. I remember Kel, we was walking around campus like, yo, I heard he sampled water dripping off the pipes and all this stuff. So, it's crazy to find out. And y'all, this ain't no sample snitching. This fucking 2005. WhoSampled.com is alive and well. That sample snitching shit was great in the 90s. It's 2025. Everybody knows it's a Shelly Man album. And it's actually a drummer's album, which is even bugged out to me that you got these water drops on a jazz drummer's album. Was just crazy to me. And I mean, I think J. Rue, just a perfect hip hop song. Like Vague was talking about Primo scratching on DeWitt, him scratching, because I'm about to drop some shit, the Onyx joint, which was crazy. So I remember even Cal Shorty's on campus was like, yo, what's that song? And I'm like, damn, y'all don't even like fucking hip hop, and y'all asking about Come Clean.
He knows it right.
So that was it for me. And then, like Easy said, I got Flavor in Your Ear. I just got the remix. A lot of times people want to really act like Big was the face of Bad Boy, and it wasn't. Craig Mack's Flavor in Your Ear and Juicy dropped, and Flavor in Your Ear was so much bigger than Juicy. It wasn't even fun. It wasn't even close. Like, that's like, and it was, and I think that's why Puff was like, all right, let's get him on this remix, because when I heard Juicy, like JR said, I hated Juicy. That Juicy's not on none of my Best of Big mixtapes, none of that stuff. But the way he set off the Flavor in Your Ear remix with the Invisible Bully, like the Gooch, it was like, yo, this dude is Rampage Last Boy Scout sounded good. Like, everybody sounded good on this joint. You know what I mean? LL, we don't know what he's talking about, but he sounded crazy. And again, Easy
Barracuda. I still don't understand what the fuck that means, but it's
I don't know what he say was. I don't know none of that stuff, but it sounded good. So those two joints for hip hop. For R&B, I got Tony's from 93 Anniversary. To me, this is a song that's just going to be played until the end of time. Anybody who has an anniversary is going to be on IG with that song in their background. So it's just one of them songs that, to me, I just never think is ever going to go anywhere. And this was a song that I was not a fan of at all. But like JR said, if we're talking about big songs and we got to go Brandy's I Want to Be Down, I hated that. That's it right there, JR. I was just about to say I hated that Karate Kid.
I know you hate it.
Make a butterfly turn into a dragon. I don't know what the fuck that shit was. I didn't know what was going on in the video.
But the remix.
Not a big fan. Not the remix. Here's the thing, Kelvin. I didn't like either one of them. You know what I mean? I know everybody's like, oh, you should like because you got light and yo-yo.
Yeah.
I didn't like nothing about I didn't like Brandy until probably the second album. You know what I mean? And it was just everywhere. And again, we in college, bro. You Moesha, you a little kid. I don't like little kids. It's like, but the song was everywhere. So those are my two for that year, Anniversary and I Want to Be Down. Ev, what you got up next, bro?
My next two would be, the first one is not popular at all. But it's one of them joints that you heard. I heard a DJ play it in the club and I had to go find it. And during that time, I could only find it on vinyl. That is Manifest Destiny by Urban Thermodynamics. May or may not know the group. It's Mos Def's
heard it. What's it called?
Urban Thermodynamics. It was Mos Def's first group with his brother and his sister. And they got a track called Manifest Destiny. The thing about the track is the beat is the same beat that's at the beginning of Diamond D's first album. So that intro beat in Diamond D's first album, that's the beat that they rock to. And the track is stupid. I heard a cat played in the club one time. I had to go find it. And during that time, I didn't know Mos Def had a group with his siblings. But this is him, his sister, and his brother. And it's called Manifest Destiny. Again, the name of the group is called Urban Thermodynamics. That was one of my shits. And the next one, I'm gonna do an R&B for this one. Look, I was in high school. I had a high school sweetheart. I was in love. This was my shit.
You was in love, bro. You was in love.
Around holding hands in fucking hallways and shit. That was me.
Yo, they was like they was the couple that was like, oh, y'all get married. We know y'all get married.
But the track is, and I'm gonna say this, even though the dude got thrown off stage, PM Dawn, Die Without You.
I ain't mad at that. Yeah, that was a dope ass song.
Yes, it was.
That was a dope ass song. That's the only PMD song I like. Is that joint?
That's it.
That is some clearly high school shit. You ready to die at that point? Like I love it so much, I'm gonna die.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. That was that shit. I was gonna say too on my list. Because last week, JR, you wasn't here, but maybe you seen it when Brooklyn Kill said it, and he was like, he named Candyman. I was like, no, I'm sorry, bro. I forgot to tell you the rules of the show. We don't talk about Candyman on the show. So just so for people, when I'm reading off my list, like, how what you said?
Monty said that?
Yeah, he was like, yo, we gotta talk about.
You don't talk about Candyman on the show?
No, we don't talk about Candyman.
What I miss? What's the deal with Candyman?
Well, R. Kelly. That's Candyman.
Oh, I thought
we don't talk about.
Wasn't it?
No.
MC named Candyman or some shit like that.
No, yeah, it was. No, I call R. Kelly Candyman because if you say his name 3 times, your daughter come up missing the next.
I got you.
We don't say his name 3 times. Yeah, we don't say his name 3 times in the mirror. You fuck around, won't have a daughter in the morning. So we don't talk about him. So for people watching, that's why there's no Candyman songs being named. Vague, what you got up next, bro?
That though, I'm like,
what you say?
I got a little controversy.
What?
Right now, I could use a new R. Kelly song. I ain't gonna front. I could use a new R. Kelly. He still had good music. Sorry, y'all. He still had good music.
That's twice, Skill. That's twice.
See, Ev, you ain't fucking around with me. See, I ain't saying it no more. You got a son. See, you ain't got nothing to lose, nigga. I do. I'll wake up tomorrow, Naomi roommate be like, yo, I don't know what the fuck happened to her. You know what I mean? She gone.
I'm just saying, I ain't playing nothing. I'd say that I don't need no more Candyman music. No more. I'm good. I don't need to know in the jail cell part 12. I don't need that right now. I'm good. You know, even Ryan don't mess with the boy no more. Ryan done moved on. Like he ain't even Mr. Biggs no more. He done got rid of the whole character fucking around with him. I'll leave it alone.
Vague, what you got up next, bro?
I'm gonna tell you niggas to just say the name, you know. But I'm not.
You don't have daughters, bro. You don't have.
Maybe
daughters.
That's why.
You got nothing. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
Right. What else I got up next? I'm gonna go Outkast, Elevators.
That's on my list. Yeah, that's a good one.
Man, when I heard the beat at first, I was like, whoa, this new Outkast, like Southern playalistic, and the way they was spitting, it just got everybody's attention. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I know the South knows, but when Andre 3 Stacks said South got something to say, and that single dropped,
yep,
it was like, oh, Outkast just put everybody on notice. Like, y'all not gonna ignore us. And yeah, it was just so dope. I remember I went and got the single quick. Because you know, back then, you get the song, you get a remix, you get an instrumental. I wanted the instrumental so bad. That's when I was in my prime spitting days on Morgan State University's campus. Now I'm just in the house and rapping, typing on my phone like a fucking new cat. But back then, oh man, any song that had a dope ass beat, you wanted that instrumental. And then I'm the type of rapper who I get inspired by other rappers, right? Like I love when somebody show that they're dope with it. It inspires me to write. But I just remember like everybody was like taking notice of Outkast, and it wasn't even like they fell off or anything. It was just that, you know, it was getting noisy on the hip hop side because it was a lot of new popular groups, and it was the East Coast and the West Coast and all these new guys. And Outkast was just, you know, making some elbow room for the South. You know what I'm saying? And I respected it. So,
real quick on the Outkast joint, I got the single. The thing I loved about this single, because you talked about that, was the back of it. Just seeing them in the studio with the SP12 and the MPC 3000. I was just like, oh, okay, these dudes is like really on some shit down there. You know, and again, for people who may not know, this is when Cass started making their own beats. You know what I mean? So that's why this picture ain't the dungeon no more. Like these dudes went out, got their own equipment, and started making their own beats. Because I said something about Sporty Odie, and everybody was like, yeah, we gotta give love to Organized Noise. And I'm like, yeah, we do, but nigga, they ain't do Sporty Odie. And a lot of people don't know that. Like a lot of people just thought Organized just produced everything for Outkast. You know what I mean? So yeah, so just love for this single right here. I love the back of this joint. But my bad, Vague, what you got next?
All right, Cal, I'm gonna go to Queens. I'm gonna set it up because I think for me and probably it was a little bit different for me, but what I could see from everybody, you heard the Genesis when you press play on the album. Other songs you heard before that was It Ain't Hard to Tell and Halftime and the Source article and just all this build up. And the first time the Genesis goes off and you hear New York State of Mind, and the way Nas is spitting and storytelling in that shit, yeah, I think, like, I was like, man, I could smell the piss in the record. You don't know what I'm talking about, especially in Queensbridge. Don't get on that elevator. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody pissed in
Man for a minute.
Right. I could smell that. I could envision the dudes on the staircase, you know, fucking breaking up blunts and shit. Like, it just was so New York, but it was so different because of how Nas was like, you know, like a poet with it. You know what I'm saying? The things he was saying and painting a picture that you could see. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, like, I almost couldn't even get to Life's a Bitch because I kept running that back because the beat was just so crazy. Like, I know sometimes, like, I had interns like, oh, you don't look like you're 48. Put that shit on. Then it'd be like, oh, he is from the 90s. He is an old nigga. Because I'd be ready to fight and all kinds of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. New York State of Mind, Primo. Yeah, just classic hip hop.
Yeah, to me, that's definitely a top 5 Primo beat, man. Like, that thing is just crazy, man. I mean, even when they had Nas doing them, I think it was the Heineken commercials. I mean, it still sound good to this day. Yeah. You know, hell, on the Marsha Ambrosius album when that shit dropped, you know what I mean? And she was singing over that, it was crazy. Like, you know what I mean? So that's crazy because what that dropped 2024, Illmatic dropped 94. Like, dog, you know what I mean? Like, for a beat to still sound that great that many years later is just crazy. 30 years later, man, that's crazy. Easy, what you got up next, bro?
It's funny you mentioned New York State of Mind because I decided I was going to stay away from Premier because the first 2 songs I wrote down was 10 Crack Commandments and New York State of Mind. I'm like, I can't do this. This isn't all going to be for me. So I just chilled. You know what I mean? I stopped. The first song I'm going to mention is my favorite song, and it's called "The Knicks Are in Trouble Right Now." Yeah, you know, green team all day. Anybody I don't know, I'm a Celtics diehard, so I got to throw that in JR face every chance.
Yeah, trust me, I gotta hear this shit all the time, man. So.
Bro, we're not even talking to you. Y'all golfing. Y'all been golfing.
Bro, like I said, man, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. That's all I care about. I don't even know. We got a basketball team in Philly. I thought they moved to Trenton. I can't keep up.
Yeah. We're not even entertaining.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. I can't talk right now. I'm of that mindset. If your team ain't playing, you can't say much.
I'm not.
You could talk about that Super Bowl trophy.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, as far as I'm quiet, bro. I'm quiet.
So I'm going. So these 2 joints are, you know, obviously known by the heads and all that, and just the theme of the beats that just get me moving, man. Like, I hear these beats and I just can't help but, you know, get crazy. I'm going to 94, Mad Lion, Take It Easy.
Okay.
That beat is just,
I got that too.
It's one of them ones, man.
Crazy, yeah.
That beat right there alone is just one of them ones. You know, he come in with that flavor, and you know, all you virgins listen. Oh, that's not hip hop. It's reggae. Shut up. All right. So that joint to this day, man, I hear that beat. That shit is so infectious. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I have to throw that one in there. And then my other hip hop pick, same thing, man. This beat drop, you know, one of the most underappreciated, cultural, iconic MCs, man. Grand Poobah, I like it.
Yeah.
My shit. I hear that shit, and I just can't help. And it's poetic, you know what I mean? Like, I can't. It's one of them joints, man. It's just you gotta just.
Yo, here's the wild part, B. You know, Pooh got a new album about to drop, and like the single was on his website, and that single was a banger, man.
It's a banger, right? Yeah, it is.
It's a banger, man. I was kind of shocked. Like, somebody, Kel, you sent it to me.
I sent it to you. Yeah, I sent it to you.
Yeah, you sent it to me. Yep, Kel sent it to me. I gotta find it. Just Google Grand Poobah and go to his website. It's like streaming on his website.
And it's on his website?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not streaming yet or anything like that. So it's just on his website, like at the bottom of the screen. But it's the banger. I was like, yo, this shit crazy, man. You know what I mean? So and it's a dope Poobah beat too. You know what I mean? So it's like it fits him perfectly. So
Yeah, that's what, I gotta go check that. But yeah, that joint is just so classic. You know, like I said, people like us, you know, we know them joints, but not everybody would choose those in this conversation. But I kind of did that purposely. On the R&B side, I gotta give a shout. You know, I got 2 joints. I gotta shout out the ladies. I gotta hold it rep for the ladies real quick. 2 joints that, you know, once you play them, every hood rat is singing along, word for word. You know, one of the memory lane joints. You know what I mean? We're gonna go SWV week for sure. Right?
You watching body language, E? You watching body language?
Every girl that get wick know that song word for word, the ad libs. You know what I'm saying? She go pick up her baby formula, and that shit is bumping in her fucking. She probably got a in 2025. You know what I mean? So we gotta go SWV week. That's one of them. And then the other one, you know, the other hood booger anthem, Escape, Understanding. Those are just, you know. JR, you hate those songs?
He don't mess with weak. I don't know about Understanding, but that is a hood shorty anthem.
That song, no.
But yo, but that's cool. But if you just gave it up for Montel Jordan, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Okay, wait a minute. If we gonna talk about 90s, ain't nobody saying shit about Understanding. Hell no.
You don't think so?
No. Ain't nobody talk about that. They gonna rather talk about the cover of Who Can I Run To before that.
I disagree with that. See, Montel, if you play that for the white folks, they're gonna go, you know, but play that shit in the hood. Play Understanding in the hood, though. Come on, bro.
That shit is like Keisha Cole Love. That shit is like Keisha Cole Love. You play Love anywhere in the hood, you gonna hear every stray alley cat out there singing it.
Come on, come on,
singing
bro.
Love. Nah, that ass. I'm in the hood every day. I will throw. If people about to fight, I will start playing Love right now, and that shit will calm everybody down.
You heard?
So yeah, I'm with you on that. Kel, what you got up next, bro?
Easy, man. You killing me, man.
Yo, rapper, singer, and a comedian, bro. He does it all, man.
Yeah.
This nigga Donald Glover right now. This nigga about to do stand up in a minute too. Like, what don't this nigga do?
The truth always just comes out. It just, you know, I can't.
Oh man. My next 2 I got is be like Porsche. I got Tupac, California Love. I think about, you know, the you know, him obviously being out of prison. I think that song it's Death Row, The Rise of Death Row, you know, so that's just an anthem. And then I got Bone Thugs, Crossroads, 1996. You know, just the same thing, just everywhere. You know, people can relate to it. You know, all different aspects. You know, just definitely. You gonna say easy? You gonna say
I was always a Bone Thugs fan, bro. Always.
I wasn't a big fan, honestly.
There's not one hip hop act in history that's more ahead of their time than them. If you ask me, most ahead of their time than anybody. I'm gonna leave it there.
I feel you, JR. What you got, bro?
Shoot, y'all done go on my hip hop for real. I got nothing left because I was gonna say Flavor in Your Ear, but you knocked that one out, and then I was gonna go with Take It Easy. That's the one, and Easy took it, so that I'm done. R&B wise, I never forget
my man was saying something about what's his name, Mad Lion. He Angry Puma, Upset Pussycat. What's his name? Upset Puma. Mad Lion. I'm like, damn.
Right? Shoot to Kill?
What happened?
Shoot
to Kill. Yep. Yeah.
So,
and he was on that D&D All-Star joint too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on D&D All-Stars.
So my R&B one, I'm gonna take it to 92. Take it with Mary Real Love, of course.
Right.
As soon as that drop, I was gonna say You Remind Me, but I always say I kind of compare that to like Protect Your Neck from Wu-Tang. That was hers. You Remind Me. She came in with a splash, like boom, and then she comes with Real Love, and that's kind of like her cream. You know what I mean? So it was like boom. So I'd say Real Love, and then Mariah's Fantasy.
Okay.
Like obviously I guess everybody here loves the the ODB mix for real, but that song I mean that changed Mariah forever. Now this Mariah we have now is because of that record and for it blowing up the way it did. You know what I mean? Because she always said she wanted the respect of Mary rather than the sales. She was like, I'll take the respect any day. And when she was riding through the hood and hearing Fantasy, that did something to her. So but that was a big record. So I say Fantasy and Real Love.
That had a lot to do with Puff, man. It is what it is.
Yeah.
History.
Yeah. Facts. Pete, what you got up next, babe?
Okay, so one of them's been mentioned, but I'm going to mention it anyways. Scenario Remix. Tragic Busta. Well, Kelv mentioned it, and Easy actually also mentioned that was a Busta's breakout song. So, we heard that dope verse from Busta. I think it's just a very dope song. I think on the remix side, it's always mentioned as one of the greatest remixes ever. And I think that because of that, it does have a significance in hip-hop in general. Like, it's just everyone loves it. I don't know anybody who's heard it and doesn't love it. I don't know anyone who heard it the first time and wasn't absolutely taken aback by how dope it sounded. So for that reason, Scenario for sure. And then I got Regulate by Warren G and Nate Dogg. I love Nate Dogg is my guy. Like, I just love him on everything. He's my Swiss Army knife. He's my rapper and an R&B guy, and he's everything. So that Regulate song again, and that is a cornerstone for West Coast. Whenever anyone talks about West Coast music, even before the Chronic or Doggy Style, they'll mention Regulate and Tupac. Like, it's Warren G and then it's Tupac. Like, and I think that kind of goes to show how dope and big, like, that track had the West Coast in a chokehold for sure. You couldn't get away from it. What?
The world in a chokehold.
Well, the world. But I don't know. I don't know about what was going on the East Coast, but I know on the West Coast, it definitely had everybody in a chokehold. So I definitely have to mention those, and I absolutely love them too. So yeah, Scenario and Regulate.
I gotta say, the Scenario joint, Hood's verse is ridiculous. They don't say enough about Hood. That first verse from Hood, the cat that passed away.
Rest in peace.
His verse was stupid. Yeah. I wanted a Hood album, but of course, we're never gonna get that.
Knicks fans, I'm sure you're happy. Y'all are good now. Y'all can breathe. You can breathe a sigh of relief. Okay, good. Okay. Next up, I got a song. I never liked this song. This is where me and Porsche go back to our original days and not agreeing on shit. Biggie's One More Chance remix. You know what I mean? I was never a big fan of this song. I mean, I liked it, but I liked, if y'all know, he had the hip hop version too.
The hip hop,
When the Calvin came out, he had the hip hop version over the Craig G dropping sign off the Marley. Yeah. So I love, and that's what I loved about Big, that he would give you the R&B one, the one to get the radio play, but then he also gave you something that was hip hop. So I mean, the video was dope. It's a big song, but
hip hop. The other one wasn't hip hop.
Nah, they both was hip hop, but there was a reason. But there was a reason that he understood.
Like a boom bap Avenger, bro. What's going on here?
Bro, here's the facts. He made the hip hop remix to it. That's what it's called.
Hip hop song ever was gonna be the last song that I mentioned. It's the greatest hip hop song ever. Talk about it later, but
I can't. I'm not saying it's not hip hop. I just didn't like it. I've just never been a looper. You know what I mean? If you singing over some old DeBarge shit, I'm just not a looper. That's all it is. That's all. So that's not hip hop.
We really don't agree on a lot of things. We don't agree on Genuine. We don't agree on
this is how the relationship started. This is how it started.
I know.
You are the main core that when people be on Twitter like Kill just want people to agree with him. I'm like, look at who my co-host is. We don't agree on shit.
We don't agree. We're in this freaking show alone. This topic it's a mess. It's a mess. Anyways,
That's the nature. That's the nature.
you can not remix whatever.
What happened?
I don't want to go too left here, but I remember I think it was the first time I hopped on this podcast, and you said something to the effect that Boyz II Men wasn't R&B and JR wasn't having it. I'll never forget that shit.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Oh no, I said they wasn't. No, I think I said they weren't soulful.
I was like, get the fuck out of here.
I think I said they weren't soulful or something. They were pop. Yeah, they were pop.
Whatever you said, you was bugging out. And
Whatever you said, you was bugging.
Right there, like, get the fuck out of here with that
He
shit.
loved this. He liked this. He liked when you disagree with him.
Yeah, that's why I'll never understand when people be like, I want people to agree with me.
It's that podcast shit. You need that Stephen A. Skip Bayless. You need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the cool thing. We don't argue on here. I nipped that in the bud. Yo, who was on the show that time when me and Bezo was arguing for like a half hour and I had to turn around?
I was. I love that show.
And I was like, and God bless Bezo, that's my bro, but he ain't been back since, bro. I'm like, yo, that's not what we do. We don't do arguing for 20. And we was arguing over that album, and we both ended up giving them 3.5 albums. 3.5 mic.
That's all y'all did. And them live for the writers bench sessions, all y'all did was argue pretty much the whole show, which was hilarious.
That's why, and I said that's not good radio. That's not good podcast.
Oh yeah, the writers.
And my next one was just Shook Ones for all the reasons that everybody said. It's it's just the anthem. And then for R&B, I got from '95, I got D'Angelo's Lady, and I got Groove Theory's Tell Me. I feel like they tell me. See, so now me and Portia back. This is the nature of our relationship.
I love Tell Me. Oh my god, on every single mix I ever burned and recorded ever. Oh my god, I love it.
Yep. So Lady and Tell Me was the R&B. Eb, what you got up next, bro?
What I got up next is for my category of craft, the craft of MC. One of the joints that kind of got my pen moving and got me into more of that art form. The first one is going to be Buck 'Em Down, the actual original version. Not the remix. The remix is the shit, but the original version was the first thing that actually hit me. So Buck 'Em Down off the Black Moon first album, and then my next one is going to be I gotta go back to the God, man. Know the Ledge, Rakim. That was my shit.
Yeah.
Too.
That Buck 'Em Down, that's the way to start off. That
Buck 'Em Down is stupid. Now, and the remix is crazy.
The remix is crazy, but the original.
That original, it was just so dirty and guttural. It's like it gave you all the things. And then Know the Ledge was just, it was Rakim at his like, I don't say pinnacle, but his pen game was ridiculous on that fucking that track.
I want to say he did like 4 verses too on the Ledge.
I think it was 3.
It's definitely more than 3. It's definitely more than 3. He made it's at least 4. Like he put in work.
Yeah, the storytelling at the end when he's on the train, like it just man. It just as an MC, it just made me want to kind of just do what he was doing.
Yeah.
So,
and then to find out he came and played the drums on that joint is even crazier too. So
I didn't know that. That.
He played the drums on that joint. Yeah, like on live drum set. That's raw on the drums.
I didn't know that.
Crazy. Veg, what you got up next, bro?
Yeah, just to add to that real quick, he said it so casually in his book. I was like, wait, Rakim he was like, yeah, so I just went and played the drums. Like, wait, you played the drums on fucking Know the Ledge? That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. I'm going with Biggie. Who Shot You? Man, listen.
Yeah.
You want to talk
Which
about
version, though? Which version?
Which version?
Yeah, the Keith Murray joint or the one that?
No, that's the I Shot You. That's the I Shot You.
Yeah. That's the I Shot You. When you want to talk about Brooklyn pride, oh my God, like that beat, the way Big was spitting, the way he was talking about it. I ain't gonna hold y'all. There was many Brooklyn nights like, yeah, Tupac, and I was like, damn, but how do we know if he if he did it? You know what I'm saying? But we know the timing was just off or whatever, if it was. But nevertheless, you talk about a song that wasn't even like for the club, but it was played in the club like crazy. And for the kids watching this back, even when the females would be like, "Who shot you?" Separate the weak from, like, they right there with us. It ain't like, oh, this violent song. Nah, hip hop B girls was like, you know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. And obviously, when it dropped, I was in BK, but I came to Morgan. It was the same energy. As soon as I got to Morgan, well, who shot you? And when you were a freshman at Morgan, you extra represent where you from. So that shit is all like, who shot you? To like, yo, who about to fuck somebody? Well, I didn't do that. I went to class. All right. And I studied. But that was like the vibes back then. Not that it incited violence, but it was just such a dope record. Like,
can I ask a question about that song? I got a question. With the Who Shot, what I heard was the original version had Keith Murray on it, and they took Keith off later. Because Keith is what you hear on Mary J. Blige's joint. Is that true?
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's rapping over the Who Shot You beat on
Thank you, Jesus.
On My Life.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
God is the greatest. Well, I got to say to that.
Well, they took and then they made Keith Murray because Big
Keith Murray, man, but yo,
and they didn't want Mary to get a parental advisory joint, so they let Keith Murray rhyme on it.
Yeah, it didn't need to be there because all your back legs in it. Nah, get that shit out of here, man. Big did it justice, like
we love Keith Murray, but come on, man.
That might be me. I love that Keith Murray verse. I thought that verse.
Here's the thing. I thought it was. In fact, too, it started off my next. Y'all heard about my 90 minutes and Timberland mixtapes. It started off my smooth shit mixtapes because I would start off all my mixtapes with that interlude because it'd be like, "Yo, where's that smooth shit?" And then you hear the tape popping in the deck. So that would start off that. But I don't think Keith was gonna kill that like Big did. Like Keith,
oh man, really? Catch that bubonic plague to your head, back, chest, arms, and legs.
I mean, that's a good 8 verses, but I don't know if he's gonna come off better than what Big did, man.
Yeah,
I give you that.
I don't get me wrong. I like Keith Murray back then, like Easy said, but
we all fuck with Keith Murray, but let's not be fucking ridiculous, all right, guys?
I just think about Prodigy,
right? Please.
All that space shit that don't even make no motherfucking sense.
And here's the bad part. But then what P say? Yeah, you snuffed me in front of the cops. That bullshit, like nigga. Hey, stop talking about that spaceship shit. You won't get snuffed. You know what I mean?
The other one is Tupac. I Get Around. Man, if there's one record, like I got a lot of Tupac records I love, and there's he had a lot of moments, like some that was mentioned, you know what I'm saying, and some that weren't mentioned. But man, when I Get Around come on, it don't matter what year, what time. I just feel like I'm at a pool party, and the shit is fun. You know what I'm saying? Like I just love that record. Like perfect lyrics, just everything about it. Perfect video, like it just showed the range that Tupac could have when it came to his music. Because, he can have his conscious records. He can have songs like Dear Mama, Brenda's Got a Baby, Hail Mary. Like, he could just have all these different looks. And I Get Around is still, like, the one that just kind of gets me going as soon as I hear it. And I just remember, like, everybody liked that record. For the most part that I knew, liked that record. And, yeah, man, it's almost a jam every time not almost, but it is for me. And I went out and bought that. I thought I had it back there. I have it in the maxi single joint for that. I Get Around because I just again, like I said earlier, back then you getting the song, you getting the instrumental, like it was just like I had to have it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just so dope. So yeah, those are my two.
All right, Easy. What you got up next, fam?
Couple of my all-time favorite joints. I'm gonna Coming on to what he said earlier, you mentioned the Black Moon joint. I definitely got a Black Moon joint. That's I Got Your Open remix, man. Yeah. You play that shit in the party, and, you know, you get open, pun intended. You feel me? That's my shit. That's one of my all-time favorites, you know, from a young cat. That's always been one that really moved me. And then to go off something that Veg said earlier too, when you had mentioned how the women would sing "Who Shot Ya." I got the prime example of women singing along on some gangster shit. Not only singing along to some gangster shit, but degrading themselves. Snoop Dogg ain't no fun. Yeah. Play that in the room for the women, y'all gonna sing along with it. Yeah. It don't get no crazier than that. You know what I mean? That shit right there, from everything from the beat to, you know, Nate Dogg setting it off. Like, come on, man. I bet you Portia Z knows that song word for word.
Is that heart melting?
Like, oh shit, what am I saying? Like, one of them ones, you know what I mean? You know, so I have to.
It's not heart melting, okay?
It's not.
That's a really like, you know, like we talked about Naughty earlier, how they made that fun street shit. This is a great example of that. You know, it's very fun, very gangster though. I love that. And then on the R&B side, I'm going with a couple more songs for the from the ladies. A couple one-hit wonders. I got Shanice, I Love You Smooth, and I always thought that was a real dope record, a real good feel good record. And I got Brownstone, If You Love Me.
That's the bang.
That shit right there. And I'm right there, like, you know, can't front on those. Those were just like two songs that really just felt good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell yeah. Those are two bangers. Cal, what you got up next, bro?
You talked about Naughty earlier with OPP. I got Hip Hop Parade. You got to mention it, Kill too. This anthem just rings out, you know, any decade, anywhere. People just gonna, any event, just going crazy about it. And then I think you mentioned too, Kill. You mentioned Black Sheep, The Choice Is Yours. I was on a cruise and people were jumping out. I'm like, we can't jump on a boat. You can't do this. You can't do this here. But people still bugging out, you know. So when that song come on, it's timeless.
Yeah, hell yeah. So you said, hold up, The Choice Is Yours, and what else?
Choice Is Yours and Naughty Hip Hop Parade.
Naughty Hip Hop Parade. All right, bet. All right, JR, what you got, bro?
I just got R&B left. I got Come and Talk to Me remix from Jodeci.
The remix, crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
And then I had,
So that made me come on. They were playing on the bridge when I came on a visit. I'm like, I can come here. They're rocking that joint.
That joint hits, and then I'm gonna end it with my girls with I'm So Into USWV. Definitely the break of New Jack into this new era that we were going into. So that breakdown in the middle. So definitely when you talk about a 90s R&B, though, but those two have to be on there. So yeah, Come and Talk to Me and I'm So Into USWV.
All right, P, what you got up for your last two? Oh no, it's last four. We still got four more left. My bad.
Yeah, so the next two are Players Ball by Outkast and Live at the Barbecue by Main Source and Nas. And I don't want to go too much into that because I think Kelv already mentioned it. But for the same reasons that Kelv pretty much said, it was the not only Breaking Atoms as a very dope album, but Nas also as, you know, the MC that he is, and then what he did with Illmatic. So that song is so crucial in hip hop history in general, as influential, as something to be noted. So that's definitely on my list. And then Players Ball, of course. The South had something to say, like Vegas said. Vegas said elevators, but yeah, Players Ball is Southern playalistic, and yeah, it's the first time. I think that was the first single off the album, or the only single off the album. So yeah, we hear Outkast, and they cemented themselves as a Southern sound, and yeah, it was amazing. So those two.
All right. I'm going back So what Easy set us all off with Broken Language, Smooth the Hustler. The first time we heard that at 889, it was like, yo, this shit crazy, man. Nobody was rhyming like that before. Him and Trigger going back and forth the way that they was going back and forth. I mean, to me, that was like one of the most anticipated albums to me, that Once Upon a Time in America, just based off of that song. I mean, I want to say Trigger got his deal at Def Jam just based off that song right there. And then just to talk about how far the range of that song is, I'm listening to Heather Headley when she first dropped, and I hear He Is, and the first thing I go is like, oh no, I'm like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme, like yo, that's Smooth style. She doing that. She doing Smooth the Hustler. So for R&B shorty to be like He Is, the Rhyme Protector, I was like, yo, this she doing the Smooth style, like. So that was crazy for me. And then the next joint, you know what I mean? All About the Benjamins, man. Like, and I'm talking about from that was rocking off the Clue tapes before we even get to No Way Out. I'm talking about some niggas only heard that shit on No Way Out. We were hearing that shit for years on them Clue tapes. You know what I mean? But that All About the Benjamins.
And Lil Kim.
Yeah, without
Big and Kim.
Right. You know what I mean? And then you add in the big part with that Jackson 5 sample that, and it fit flawless. Like, you got the beat that's crazy, then you just go into this quick Jackson 5 sample, and then come right back out and go right back to the original beat, dog. Like, yo, in 1997, you thought about All About the Benjamins. You talking about a tunnel bank. You talking about the whole crib burning. That this is what I mean. Like, again, I love Shook Ones. I love it, but we act like that's the only anthem. Like, it's not. It's one of many, because All About the Benjamins, best believe that was an anthem, you know. So to me, you gotta, I had to have that on this list. So yeah, that. And then on the R&B side, I think JR said it, 1 in a Million. First time I was at my man Osei crib, we was in the studio working on some music. The video came on, and like we all just froze. Like, yo, what is that? Like, why are the drums moving like that? Like, how's it programmed like that? Like, it was just so crazy to me. Like, yo, what the hell is this? And then I gotta go with I'm gonna go with Usher, You Make Me Wanna, from 97. Like, that was a big banger. I actually just moved to Atlanta in 97, so of course I was hearing that song every day, multiple times in an hour. Forget about throughout the day. I'm talking about you'd hear that song 4 times in an hour. And then I always love the video when these niggas took off their shoes. I was like, yo, it's corny, but it's kind of dope. But it's corny, but it's dope. Yeah, it's kind of dope, but niggas just took off their shoes. But that was kind of dope how they took off their shoes. It's like a fuck you up mind moment. Like, damn, is it dope or not?
Smooth.
But
we used to kill that move right there. What?
Yeah, so you know what I mean? So I definitely gotta go with the Usher, You Make Me Want to Join. Vague, what you got up next?
All right, hold up. Oh shit. Oh, this is kind of screwy. What is this? I'm gonna go with Common's I Used to Love Her. Not like a huge hit, but like a staple in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, perfect storytelling.
I did have that.
People have done it a million times now in different versions, but I remember when he did it, it was just like, oh, that's dope. Like, how has that song not been made before? You know what I'm saying? In that way. You know, just kind of going through the young history of hip hop at that time. And I just thought it was dope. It made me respect Common's pen a lot when I heard that. I remember, Kill, you said something like you didn't know he was talking about hip hop or something like that.
Yeah, this is the funniest story, B. Song's been out for a while. Niggas is at my crib, niggas at my crib in Kinston Gate at Morgan. It's like, what we talking about, y'all, is hip hop. And I'm like, oh shit, y'all. Yo, motherfuckers, he talking about hip hop. And niggas is like, nigga, he say the shit at the end of the song. Nigga, like, do you not? That's what a big joke, like, Kill, do you even listen to the fucking lyrics? Like, do you even pay attention? Are you just that involved in the beat that this nigga tells you he's talking about hip hop and you still didn't know that shit? Like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I didn't know. I'm the first to admit I did not know that the song was about hip hop. I really thought it was about a girl. And like you said, Vic, the funny thing is how many times that this has been done. over and over and over and over again. But to me, no one has ever done it even close to what Calm did. You know what I mean? Which is a testament to the song making your list, because at least 6 to 10 niggas have tried to remake this song, and none of them even come close to what Calm did with it.
I think it was like just perfect timing, right? Nobody had really done it like that in that way. And he kind of had that space to himself in that moment. Like, yo, that's a dope ass idea. And it's only common at that point. So after, when everybody else is doing it, it's like, it's not whack, obviously, but it's kind of like this guy had it all to himself at that point in time. So,
you know, the part that's funny about that, Veg, is that I've never heard anybody say that the Roots, I know Master Ace and Marco Polo just had a joint like that. All the people who did a hip hop song, but it's like As a Girl, I never heard anybody say, oh, y'all bit Calm. You know what I mean? It's just like they're keeping the story going. But then it's funny because then when you bring up I Gave You Power, it's like, oh, Nas kind of bit Organized Confusion. And I'm like, wait a second, but why is Nas biting Organized Confusion? And now he's talking about as a gun versus them being a bullet. But when people do this old hip hop is a woman, it's not biting. It's like, so I get how Twitter be like, yo, y'all be moving the goalposts, because niggas do be moving the goalposts. Because I'm like, I don't understand why that wouldn't be biting. Like the Roots literally did it on Things Fall Apart. What, 2 years later? And
they put Calm on the track. They put Calm on the track. They put Calm on the track, so it kind of gave him a little bit of a pass.
I guess. I mean, here's the thing. So, but do you think if they put Poe and Monch on I Gave You Power, niggas wouldn't be like, oh, they bit?
Nah, not at all.
So I mean, like that's the thing.
It was.
Can I tell you why though?
Like,
and that's what.
What's up, B?
Because it's Nas, and that comes with GOAT territory, brother. When you one of them ones, everything you do,
But they're saying that Nas bit.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, because you're the GOAT. That they're saying that.
The ones. They're gonna critique every fucking thing you do. The dude wanted to break out and cross over and sell some records. God forbid. Don't let no girl sing on your fucking hook. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought it would have been like, you're the GOAT, so you get the pass. So niggas wouldn't be saying that, because that's the thing. It's like Jordan is the GOAT, so you get those calls. You see what I'm saying? So in my mind, by Nas being the GOAT, it would be, oh, nah, Nas ain't bite. But it's funny, like, it's like, nah, Nas bit. And I'm like, yo, I can see if he wrote a rhyme about a bullet again.
Heavy as the head, bro. Comes with that. When you one of them ones, you know what I'm saying? It comes with that. And I didn't hear nobody saying that shit when it dropped. That's just in the Twitter world. When you one of them ones,
I heard people in real life. When niggas was outside in 95. Nigga, I'm not a boom bap Avenger. This nigga got me as Captain. I'm Captain America, the boom bap Avenger.
Captain America, the boom bap Avenger.
This dude said, I'm the Captain America.
It wasn't a thing though in real time. It wasn't a thing like that. You might have heard a couple people say it, but it wasn't like a thing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I remember people saying it too, but
that's the thing. And you got to remember, in '95, the only way it became a thing is all you had was your crew. Like now with social media, it could become a thing because you could get online and talk about it. Now we got people all around the world. Whereas if you at Morgan, it's only the niggas who at Morgan that you could talk to. You know, niggas ain't even have cell phones back then. They even call they niggas back home to be like, so in 95, it only was in your crew. And this thing that I realized too, because niggas was talking about Tribe's first album was a classic, and this nigga from Houston was saying, nah, because I was like, yo, I've never heard nobody in my life say People's Instinctives was a 5 mic classic off rip. It's always been What's Better, Low End or Midnight. This other nigga was like, nah, I was outside, I'm from Texas. I said, bro, I don't know what the fuck niggas in Texas was talking about. Maybe y'all was talking about some next shit. I have no idea. And that's one of the things I do like about Twitter, because it's made me even have to watch what I say, because I be like, man, ain't nobody in Philly listening to that shit. But Ev, the only thing I know is what niggas in a 5 block radius was listening to. I can't tell. Ev live in the same neighborhood, but Ev may be a good 30-minute walk from my crib. I can't speak for what's going on. And I damn sure can't speak to what's going on in North Philly or South Philly. So all we could talk about was what you and your crew were talking about. You know what I mean?
But there were still narratives then, though. There were still narratives created even back then. You know, we still had the hip hop publications. It was a little later, a little delayed. But you know, how else will these albums have been considered, you know, universal classics and all that? There were still narratives created.
I mean, it was narratives created, but I think it goes back.
What I'm trying to say is that cool. I believe you and your crew spoke about it, but it wasn't like a thing. You understand? Like it wasn't one of those.
I'm not saying it's a thing, E, but what I'm saying is, again, you can only talk on what was going on in Boston in your hood. That's all you can speak on. You have no idea what's going on in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Newark, Trenton, Camden, Philly, Baltimore, East, West, DC, Northwest, Virginia. Again, that's all any of us can do. So I'm not saying it was a thing. I'm just telling you that, I was hosting a hip hop show, nigga. Niggas was coming from New York every week. Every week, labels was coming down, and motherfuckers was talking like, Nas bit that shit off of Organized. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not saying it was a thing, but it was definitely, I could say, niggas was outside saying that nigga Nas bit. You know what I mean? I didn't see it as it was biting, but it's just like, my thing is, okay, well, if Nas bit, then why ain't all these niggas like Marco Polo and Master Ace just dropped the album 3-4 years ago doing the same goddamn thing? I'm like, it's been 25 years, y'all. We still doing the hip hop as a girl? What you gonna say, Veg?
No one cares. That's
right.
Why. That's
the thing. When you're not, we care.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like you said earlier with Nas, I think people started to like, oh yeah, Organized did do that, and it just slowly they just did not give a fuck what Organized did, and it was about I gave you power. So I think people, they kind of made concessions for it, because I thought about it when I heard it, because I liked Straight Bullet, but the way Nas did it, it just made it different. Like
for me, I looked at it like it was an alley-oop. Like it was like, that's ill.
Right.
Talk from the scene of a bullet. You know what? I'm gonna talk from the mindset of the gun. You know what I mean?
Chris has a version with the the blunt shit.
Right.
Everybody had some kind of thing that they were doing during that time.
How about this though, Kill? Right? Everyone, they were quick to say Nas bit, right? But what about when that very record, Organized Confusion, flipped the sample, Black Moon just flipped a year later? And nobody was saying nothing about that.
On what? With John?
Straight Bullet. Black Moon used that sample.
What? Right, fuck him down. Yeah.
And nobody was saying nothing. But where they're everyone's underground heroes, everybody's quiet. But when Nas does it, Nas being who he is, it's got to be a thing. Just further proves the point. Heavy as the head, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's heavy as the head, but I still think at 94, what was Straight Bullet? 94, 95?
94, I think.
94. Niggas, I don't know when exactly, and this is why I love the shows we do about the years, because you could do that shit. I mean, keep in mind, Tribes, When the Papes Come, use the same sample as Main Source's fucking Friendly Game of Baseball. You know what I mean? Nobody said anything. There are just certain times when shit happens that people don't say something, and then when somebody else does it.
It's when their underground heroes do it. Everyone's quiet. But when it's one of them ones that does it, oh no, you got to discredit it because he's one of them ones.
All right. I gotta do research on that. I feel you, because you're right that there are times when I'm like, but this person did the same thing. You know what I mean? And I don't get where it is. I really think, for me, I think 95, and this is how tight hip hop is. 95 is when people stop doing shit like that, because like I can't see nobody coming out using the same sample that Cream used for Come Clean. You see what I'm saying? Nobody would do that. And J. Rule's just the underground nigga. But could you imagine if we heard Come Clean and then 2 months later, Blase had the same sample? I just can't see that happening in 1995. it's like these weird sample rules that came into place that was like, you can't do that shit no more. Like nobody said shit when Eric B and Rakim and Heavy D both had the James Brown sample for the Overweight Lover and I Ain't No Joke. Same sample, nobody said shit. But then you fast forward 5 years, and now that hell, the whole Beat Miners was beefing with Just Blaze over the fucking that fucking Little Boy Blue, the PSA sample. You know what I mean? Because
isn't 95 the year that Big L and Biggie both used the bar shit?
I don't know. Remind me of
remix and Big L's MVP.
I think so. Yeah.
That's 95.
95?
Big L MVP and Biggie.
That's true, yo.
I totally forgot about that album, the Big L album. But yeah, I mean, I get, and again, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just trying to, in my mind, try to reflect on why it was okay at some point. And other reasons, it was like that was like a criminal like offense. Like, how the fuck could you do such a thing? Because I've heard stories of Diamond D stepping to Mr. Walt like, yo, you stole my drums off of the reel that I left in the studio, and Walt had to go to his crib and pull out the record. Like, nah, nigga, I got him from the record. Like, that's how producers was at each other's throats back then over samples and over drums and all that. So that's why I'm trying to figure out, even in my own mind, when did niggas start getting a pass? Because then we stopped doing that shit. You know what I mean? We used to do it a lot, but then we would stop. Great example. And I think a lot of times too, around 95, it was the sampling clearance and you didn't know. Like, for instance, Born to Live, OC's Born to Live, produced by Buck Wild, used the same sample that fucking Pete Rock and CL Smooth used for I'll Take You There, which is the joint. Kelv, help me, my brain. I'm Queens dude, y'all. It's your favorite Queens dude.
Tragedy,
Rise to the Top. Kenny Burke.
Kenny
Burke. You know what I mean? Same sample. Nobody said shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe you're right, E. Maybe it is because it's just two underground groups bumping heads. But then when somebody bigger does it, then it's like, okay, now you want to say X, Y, Z. But I ain't hear nobody shitting on Big if he did use the same DeBard sample as Big L. Nobody said shit about Big. Now I don't know if Big was big enough. Huh?
Nobody cared, man. Nobody cared.
Remember how we was talking about how Keith Murray had a dope verse and then Biggie rounded on the beat? Same shit. Like, you know what I mean? The
Right.
Biggie.
You kind of said it earlier, Kill. Like, it's like the Jordan thing, right? Like, that's a foul on him. I'm gonna call it because that's Michael Jordan.
Right.
This guy clothesline. Who the fuck are you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. Either I go to you or is it
Hey, I
Cal?
got one more.
Oh, my bad. We still on bang. Goddamn, E. This what you do, man. You done took the show in a whole nother direction, man.
Yeah, I think you skipped me.
Oh, damn, I done skipped Av. Goddamn.
Yeah, I think you did skip that.
Yeah, you did skip that.
Wait, hold on.
You asked me to come back just to skip me like that, word?
Hold on. Hey, what's your two, man? What's your two?
No, let Veg finish.
I got a request real quick. Can you please, well, first of all, make sure Easy's on the show, but please bring one of them Boom Bap Avengers on this motherfucker. So
Please.
say that. And
Please.
Upset.
Easy will eat,
He gotta tell me who Boom Bap. He gotta tell me who's on my team. I guess I'm the captain. I didn't know I was the captain, but I guess I'm the captain. He gotta let me know who's on the squad.
You guys come on before, but the niggas ain't been back, so.
He's not in here. He's not in here because the moment I said that Heavy D joint, he would have went. Yeah, I would have pointed him right out. You know what I mean? You know who don't go to push immediately.
We gonna do this off camera. Man, what else you got, bro?
Boom Bap Iron Man. Alright. I got Tribe Called Quest, Check the Rhyme. Man, yo, like,
yes.
What I liked about Tribe, even like what Can I Kick It, like it felt like old school hip hop, like the call and response kind of thing. But when that joint dropped and they in Queens and they on like just the roof, I don't even know how they got up there, like the roof of the mini mall, whatever the fuck that is.
It's a strip mall, it's the cleaners.
Right.
Yeah.
And
You can climb this. It's so short, you climb it.
Yeah. Oh, you been up there, Cat? That's what you say. You been up there and shit. What you doing?
Yo, bro, this the fucking mayor. He been everywhere. He had to give Tribe the damn ordinance. Had to sign off on him doing the video there, man.
Right.
You know, Kelv had to sign off on that. Kelv had to just went out there the other day to inspect it.
Right. Let me inspect his roof before y'all get up there. But yeah, man, I just remember like I think that dropped in the summertime. I think so.
No, it was during the school year. I think it was during the school year because
like maybe it was released, but it
was like right at like September. Yeah.
I just felt like it was everywhere. The video was getting played like crazy, especially on Video Music Box. I have no complaints, but at least it felt that way to me that, you know, this was a big record for them. And it kind of felt like I said earlier with Outkast and Elevators, right? Because that first album, I'm kind of like, whatever. I like what I like. And then the rest is whatever. But when I heard that, I was like, damn, this is like hip hop, the beat build. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that was in there was just so dope. And, you know, then Fife, and I'm looking like, damn, he rapping like, okay, Fife, you know what I'm saying? And obviously we know when we got the album, but yeah, man, that was just like a time. And I know it had an impression on me at that time, like, cause Tribe is my favorite group, where it was just like I just wanted more, you know what I'm saying? And that song was like the gateway to what they were cooking up. So yeah, that's the second one I got.
All right, my bad, Ev. What you got, bro?
So good. I'm really going to kind of mimic what was already said. I'm going back into my crew joints, but these are two joints that I feel like, for me, kind of changed the sound of hip hop a little bit, or just kind of expanded the sound. The first one is going to be going back to Tribe, a War Tour, which I thought was just an incredible single for Midnight Marauders, and it was just the sound of it when it came out. I think it came out in like March, but when it came out, it just opened up a whole new door for me when it comes to hip hop. And the next one is going right back to what Vague was talking about. Is I have to still, even though it's been talked about a couple times, I still got to say it. Elevators, Outkast. The beat was so simple, but the rhymes were so dope, complex. There's a lot of alignment with reality, and I think it was Outkast letting you know that the South do got something to say. Like Greg said, and you know, and when they came out with Elevators, it was like, oh, these motherfuckers are nice. Nice. So yeah, those are my two right there.
Yeah, that 3000 verse was like, yo, what the fuck? You don't move your feet to now, Ethan, and we like neck to neck. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, this dude is just having conversational raps or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, damn, you know what I mean? Easy, what you got for your next two?
So we down to the final four, right?
Yep.
I got one that I'm certain nobody even considered. This is one of my personal favorite hip hop records of all time. I'm right on the brink. I'm taking it to 99. Just everything, the production, the mix, the arrangement, everything with this beat. I believe those drums are live. I'm not sure. That's some producer shit. Maybe Kill can confirm. I'm going Black Rob, Life Story. That's one of my absolute favorite songs in hip hop. Everything, the way the vocals are arranged, there's everything. You know, I think everybody can hear that, so you can kind of be like, yo, like, so you know I'm not bugging out. It's just real dope record. One of them personal favorites that every time I hear it, I get caught up in it more, and I appreciate it more. Yeah, big shout out to Black Rob, rest in peace. That's one of the ones right there. And my another joint I got is, we're going to 95, right? This joint right here is one of the hardest beats ever made, in my opinion, in the opinion of a lot of people, I believe. One of the most iconic joints. It's like, I don't care if you're the nicest guy on earth, right? If this beat drops and you don't at least consider breaking something, you're a fucking pussy, right? I'm talking about Onyx Last Days, bro.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that shit.
Yes.
You gotta want to throw something.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
understand?
man.
Yo, listen, Mr. Rogers got to break something when that shit come on.
Yo, what else, bro? To me,
You know what I'm saying?
that's one of the hardest beats ever.
You
Like
feel me?
ever.
So hard. Yeah.
Ever.
Crazy,
You know,
crazy,
I had to
crazy.
do it. For the R&B, I gotta go to 90. I gotta go with Guy Let's Chill. One of the smoothest joints, ever. I just love everything about that song. I just like that R&B shit, man. That feel good, And then 93. I might email this MP3 to all the Boom Bap Avengers. Maybe they'll get some pussy, because this is one of the horniest songs in history. H-Town knocking the boots.
Oh yeah, I knew that was it.
Iconic hornism. You know what I mean? Legendary shit, bro.
Man.
You play this shit and you don't get no action. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Knocking boots, H-Sound, man. It was some wild dudes, man.
That shit is timeless right there, though.
Yeah, I feel like around those times, like it was almost like R&B was opening the door for some freaky shit. You know what I mean? Like you had Adina Howard, Freak Like Me. Like it was like, okay, we gonna like it's almost like the radio said, all right, y'all can go a little deeper. Y'all can go R-rated now. Y'all get some R-rated music on the radio now. But yeah, no doubt. Cal, what you got up?
I'm gonna go to 1992, The Far Side, Pass Me By.
Great pick, man. Great pick.
Vibe, different, West Coast, different vibe. It was just played everywhere. It was just kind of.
And not just that, Cal, but I don't know how many times somebody in their rhymes have said, "Hope you pass me by like I'm the far side." Like it's been that's one of the most iconic lines people have always used, too. So yeah.
And then I'm like Ev, I got New York City in my Nas. I think I heard Razzcast say, in his opinion, he was like, it's the most perfect hip hop song ever. He's like, you can't find a incorrect bar in the song. Everything flows completely, and it's kind of hard to argue too.
Yeah. All right, what you got, JR?
What the two off the head is gonna be "Feels Good" from Tony.
Okay.
And then the last one is gonna be, I'm not a big fan of this song, but it's a big record, "No Diggity" from Blackstreet.
You don't like No Diggity?
I don't like the sample, the way they used it. I'm like, ugh, I'm good on it.
Smash, bro.
It was a smash. I'm gonna deny it, but I'm good on it.
All right. P, what's your last two, babe?
My last two is, and this just happens to be my favorite posse cut of all time, "Don't Curse" by Heavy D and like the entire East Coast, I want to say. There's a ton of them. Dope concept. I think that's speaks to like the versatility of hip hop. Like have told everybody like you can't curse, and they all did such a dope job with their verses, like keeping in the line that they're not allowed to curse. Like it's so fun. It's so dope to see all of these people together. And yeah, I mean, it's just great. My favorite posse cut of all time. And then my second one and my last one is Not Tonight, Ladies Night, by, again, Lil Kim, Andrew Martinez, Debrat, Missy Elliott, Left Eye. Listen, I get it. That song is super mainstream. I liked it for the sole fact that it was all these dope women together. Everyone's like got verses. It's a fun song. It flows and it gets everyone hype. Like everyone liked it. The dudes liked it. So I just well, the dudes liked it.
The dudes in Vancouver liked it. I don't know if that was on any Clue tapes or any S&S tapes out here. Maybe the dudes in Vancouver liked it.
The ladies loved it, and some of the dudes
the ladies loved it
too. So for me, I think that's a really good sort of like presence of women in hip hop and showcasing skill, and it sounded dope and it was fun. So yeah, those two.
You know what was dope about that song though, that I will say? That this is like one of those things. It's not that it necessarily makes the song hot, but it's just funny is that the original is wild flagrant. I don't want tonight. Eat my pussy right. Like that shit was flagrant. And then they go and they make the squeaky clean remix out of it.
Right.
Whoa. There was a dirty version of that
on the album.
Bro, Lil' Kim, Not Tonight.
Yeah,
I never heard it.
Yeah, that song.
Are you serious?
You heard it, Kill. You heard it.
The only Lil' Kim album I listened to was the first one. So if it ain't on that album,
yeah, it is. Not Tonight.
So that's the remix.
Yeah.
I never put two and two together.
And
okay.
The other thing about the other joint she picked is that it's Don't Curse, and he put Coogee Rap on it, who was the most flagrant guy at the time, and he ain't cursed. So there's some nerd shit I wanted to point out.
Right. The last two I got, here's a song that I did not like at all when it dropped. Rough Riders Anthem, DMX. Could not stand the song, but I can't deny that it was a banger and it was everywhere. And then the last one I got is Hard Knock Life by Jay-Z. I remember me, Shy, and Bezo was at a show at Towson's. It was like Slum Village and Tribe. And I think my man Roots came down. He let us hear it before it came out. And it was just like, yo, this song is going to be dope. And then just, when it dropped, it was just everywhere. You know what I mean? And then you had everybody trying to sample musicals and shit like that. You know what I mean? So, what was it? Even Jay did it with anything. He sampled, I think, Oliver for I'll Do Anything. It was like, hey, Hard Knock Life work. Let's find, give me another one and try it again. But it ain't work like that. Then my last joint is Erykah Badu's On and On. And I forgot this one from back in 95, Monica, Don't Take It Personal. I remember being at Morgan Kelvin. It was like, yo, that's the period song. Like, don't take it personal. Like, you on your period right now. No offense, Porsche. But it was like, yo, you on your period. You never heard that?
I never heard that. No.
Oh, hell yeah. We be like, oh yeah, don't take it personal. Just one of them days. I got you, babe. I got you. That time of the month. We good. So, yeah, that was the other banger right there. And y'all killing me with the Muppet. This is what I can't stand about the internet. Y'all get a new app and y'all just run with it. All last week, it was 8 million Mount Rushmores. Now everybody's a Muppet. But the Muppet they got of Monica with them white shoes on in the damn video, I mean, the internet is undefeated. Ev, what is your last two joints, bro?
My last two joints, I'm going with Whose World Is This, but not the Illmatic version, the first version that's not on the actual album. I forget who did the beat for that, because they got a video.
What are you talking about? Whose world? The World Is Yours?
I'm sorry, The World Is Yours.
The Q-Tip remix.
Was that Tip?
Yeah, Tip that did the
remix
where they like in the hood. And now right. I'm about to say, you got me digging. There's another fucking Nas song. I'm like,
I was like,
right. I'm like, what Nas joint is this that ain't make Illmatic?
So that joint, and then my last joint is going to be Ice Cube, Jackin' for Beats. That was like a phenomenal fucking song. And I'm gonna throw my last little hip hop joint in there. Joe Decky, Cry For You. These niggas was in the desert with leather on and boots.
What's the name of the group?
He's saying Joe. He said Joe Decky.
Oh, Decky. He threw me out.
I'm the same as you. I'm like Joe Fatal from Live at the Barbecue. Who's Joe Decky? Like, yeah, I'm like Joe Fatal, like Joe Buttons. Like, who's Joe Decky? You know what I mean? But niggas was in there. Yeah, but that's when R&B videos was the shit. You had to be in the desert or you had to be in the rain, getting soaking wet. Like, that was it, man. If there wasn't no rain or no sand in your video, you wasn't doing it right, man. You know what I mean? Vay, what's your last two, bro?
Last two, shit. Talib Kweli, Just to Get By.
That's a dope pick.
That song.
That's a dope pick.
Like, even like, cause he could be a little wordy with his rapping, but on that song, everything he said was on point. Like, he was preaching on that joint.
Yeah.
Now online he be going crazy, but whatever.
I heard Kanye say he didn't want to give him that beat. That beat was supposed to be for Most.
Word.
Well, they said there was a lot of people fighting over that beat. He said Mariah wanted the beat, Pharrell wanted that beat. Like a lot of people wanted that Get By beat.
He didn't want to give the Talib, but he just wanted to get. I don't know what happened. He ended up doing it, but I don't know why.
Well, who knows with Kanye? Because he talking about he done been giving his cousin head, so I don't know what to believe.
So
I'm like, this nigga done made a whole song called Cousins. I said, man, if somebody don't go get this man, somebody got to love on Kanye and help him because he
said he's flying out there. He's like, I gotta go talk to him. He's like, this
like, bro, you somebody need to come institutionalize him ASAP. Like, and I don't know joking shit, but like to save this nigga's life. Like, this nigga is crashing out. Like, you know what I mean? On some real shit crashing out. Like,
the other one I got is Camp Low, Puccini. I'm gonna tell them I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but the shit sounds awesome. Okay, it's just perfect. It's like it's fun, it's hip hop, it's wordplay, it's flow, it's style, it's everything all in one song. I think that's why, like, to the point of 93 Till Infinity. That's why it's so timeless like that, because it feels good. As soon as you hear it, like, you just want to be a part of whatever they're saying. And they knew that shit was high. You see them in the video. They at the diner stand, like, they barely looking at your ass. Like you know what I'm saying? Shit hot. So, yeah, man, I think that's just one of those songs. I could have never imagined that, back then, because it was dope. But now when you see, everybody posting it in shorts and younger people and, we're playing it and shit, it's like, damn, this shit got legs. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, those are my two. I had one bonus that I didn't get to say. Y'all know me, the GOAT. LL Cool J, Mama said knock you out. So that's my bonus.
Can't be mad at that. The good thing about Lucchini is that Ski had the vision to not give that joint to Jay. You know what I mean? Because even though Jay, we may have understood Jay, he may have had some dope bars, but it wouldn't have been Lucchini. You know what I mean? It's like, glad they gave him feeling it. Like, good, you can keep that, but this Lucchini shit, I gotta keep that for these dudes. You know what I mean? So, which had to be a hard conversation to have with, number one, a drug dealing nigga and a nigga who could give you a shoebox full of money right now for these two niggas from the Bronx. So I appreciate Ski being able to hold his ground, because I don't know, I may have been like, nigga, I got to pay this fucking tuition, bro. I'm in college right now. So, that's dope that Ski, stuck to his guns with that. Easy, what's your last two, bro?
Oh, my fault. I'm gonna flip it real quick, and I'm gonna go with the R&B joints first. I'm going to 96. One of my favorites, Maxwell Ascension, Don't Ever Wonder. That's one of the dopest, most feel good records I've ever heard in my life. When that shit drop and the intro come in, he's smoking that, he's throwing haymakers off top. The bell ring, he's just trying to knock you the fuck out immediately. That shit, and then just the rest of the record is everything from the lyrics, the melodies, the arrangement. Super duper fire. My final R&B joint, I gotta go with The King, 1992. Remember the Time. Yeah, man, you really ain't gotta say much about that joint. Remember the Time is just one of them ones. We talking about Mike, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And on the hip hop side, so these were I told y'all what my criteria was. I was leaving out my top 5 MCs. These are the two exceptions. This first joint, I remember vividly. I was about 14, 15, and there was a 4-family crib, and it was occupied by everyone in my family. I had my grandmother on the first floor, across the hall, 2 on the top. We used to go to one of the on the top, and my cousin always had the cassettes. And I was young. We used to go. I wasn't never really much of a smoker. I would go get a Mad Dog 2020, get drunk. One of my other cousins had a Tony Touch mixtape, bro, on cassette. And this motherfucker rewinded this shit literally 15 times, bro. And from then, my life changed. Big Pun, You Ain't a Killer. heard this shit. I had heard, you know, obviously we had heard on Watch Out, and then that Funk Flex freestyle. Yeah. You know, where they come out with the KRS Power from the Street, like the ice cream beat. But yo, when I heard you in Killer, it was like I heard pun on the freestyle, and I'm like, yo, that doesn't sound like a human being. It was 2G rap on steroids. You understand what I'm saying? I obviously didn't know that in that moment. Didn't sound like a human being, and then it's like that's one of them things you're like, yo, you can't. It's like you know, like you launch a shot from the free throw line on the other side of the court, and it goes in. You can't do that again. It was like that. I heard you in a Killer, and I was like, yo, this dude is really something else. And you know, he's one of my favorites all time. Maybe a little bit of Puerto Rican bias in there, but who gives a fuck? It's my list, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that beat, just everything on that, the bars, the MCing, just the wordplay, the rhyme technique. I can go on forever about that joint. So yeah, You Ain't a Killer is definitely one of the ones for me. And before I get into Biggie's One More Chance remix, which is the greatest hip hop record of all time, in my opinion, I feel like I have to mention one song that was really a game changer. That was a big single, but it was Slim. It was Busta Rhymes' "Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See." And it dawned on me like 5 minutes ago that nobody mentioned that, and I felt like it deserved a mention because everybody here was around for that record, and that shit was booming when it dropped, and it was fire. Everyone here like that song? Yeah, we cool with it.
Oh no, hell yeah! I mean, but here's the thing. That's why I wanted to ask at the end was just how hard was this to pick 12 songs from the 90s, because you could pick 12 songs from literally every year. So I'm just happy seeing songs that like Lucchini was gonna be on my list, but it didn't. I couldn't put that before the Benjamins, you know, or I couldn't put that before Rough Ride. So I love people picking different things because I mean, dog, you're like I said, 95 alone, I had about 8 songs underlined. So I could have just picked 8 of my 12 just from one year. It was so crazy. I mean, 94. It was 94 because I had Mass Appeal, World Is Yours remix, Players Ball, Come Clean, One More Chance, Flavor in Your Ear. I Used to Love Her, OC's Time's Up, Wrong Side of the Tracks, Artifact. Like that's all just from 94. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's 9 right there.
This remix is 95 though, no? One More Chance remix, did it come out 95?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It probably did. I just had it because I was just looking at albums that dropped. So that's what it was, you know. So,
I just want to say that this record here really showcases, you know, really separates Big from everybody, right? Because, you know, you had, you know, for example, Nas, who would try to do the crossover shit and everybody hated it. It wasn't as effortless with him. Jay did Sunshine, everybody hated it at first. You know, Jay figured it out fast after, I feel like, you know. But Big One More Chance was just that joint that it really, you know, obviously Juicy, Big Papa kind of like, you know, started it. But it was really that one where everyone wanted to do that formula. It was the balance, right? The street loved this shit. The women loved this shit. The clubs played it, the radio. It was, you literally covered all the bases. That's what made him so special to me, because his gift was being a dope rhymer without doing too much. Like I just talked about Big Pun. Big Pun did a lot, like within the rhymes. With Big, it was like less is more, and it was still extraordinary. And that's what made him, to me, in my opinion, I feel like nobody, still to this day, nobody does it better. But that record right there, I feel like that was, you know, the blueprint. So what everybody, you know, was trying to do after that.
Right. Yeah.
The GOAT, you ask me, he's still the best to me. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Even the video, man, so many memories with that, man. The video was fire with all the cameos. I feel like even that, you know,
yeah, the video was crazy. Yeah,
too, you know, I love that record. That's my favorite hip hop record of all time. It just covers all the bases. I'm real big on balance. I like when things can touch all, like it's not easy. I forgot. Oh yeah, we was talking about Naughty earlier, right? It was a banger, but it was a smash. That's not easy, you know. And Big did that shit effortlessly. So
yeah, time and time again.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, who's your last two, bro?
I'm gonna say the bad boy camp, like I got Mace. Song I didn't like, but feels so good. Almost for the same reason. Just it crossover, big, massive record, obviously. People just talking about the crossover. It means could rhyme too at the same time, but big crossover record. And then my last one, Kill, you can relate to this is more again Wu-Tang, Tech and Neck. So just hearing it everywhere, just like, all right, who's this group? Who are all these MCs? It's just something different. But you knew the movement was coming again. And just from there, just took off. But yeah, just hearing Tech and Neck going, I think around Stretch and Barbito, I think first, and then it was just everywhere.
Yeah, man, crazy joint, crazy. And it's funny because I was like, Protect Your Neck, Cream. You can't go wrong with either one. Neither one of them made my list. Like, that's how hard the list was. That I'm banging my head all day, like which one I'm gonna put, and then neither one of them even made it. JR, what's your last joints, man?
I ain't got no more. I'm out.
So the Knicks just won, and you said fuck it, right? You just was like, fuck it.
Nah, y'all could have that one. No, because I gave so many of these. Like, no, I'm out. I have no more. So,
all right, no doubt. What you say?
Kill. He got excited because they won. Then immediately he thought, "Oh shit, the Celtics are next," and fucked up his whole shit. I'm not lying.
Oh, y'all play the Celtics next?
Yeah, they out of here, bro. Go celebrate your victory. Like the media
celebrating.
It's gonna be so much shit talking. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
New York now, bro. The Knicks just won that game. New York is up right now, all night, celebrating mediocrity. Oh my God, the first round of the playoffs. They're celebrating mediocrity. That's what they do. They have to. It's over.
Yo, this is why I don't feel like arguing with this nigga. This is why I'm glad the Sixers ain't even in it, because this is all me and this nigga do all day. You know what I mean? When the Sixers are relevant again, which
he does this to me with the Knicks all the time too.
Neither here nor there.
Like he got
neither here nor there. Porsche, how hard was this for you to do this list, P?
Oh, sorry. This list was actually, when you come up with a criteria, it becomes less difficult. If it's just like your favorites or all the dope songs, then yeah, I mean, it would be endless. I would have like 100 songs. But when you come up with an actual like criteria, that's, it becomes a little bit easier, because then you're actually filtering what fits in your own criteria. So for me, I was able to kind of go right away to the songs that I wanted. So yeah.
All right. What about you, Eb? And you got it on this last minute and was able to throw a list together.
Yeah, it actually wasn't that bad, because I told myself I wasn't going to do any research. I wanted to do songs that were impactful, and I figured if they was impactful, they would still be in my memory right now. So I kind of went off of that. And I didn't really do research. And as I was pulling them out, I was thinking about the reasons why they stood the test of time. So some was, connected with crews, some was connected with craft, some was connected with, people transitioning and stuff like that. So it kind of helped me kind of like, figure out what songs belong in what category. So it wasn't that bad. But of course, there was a slew of joints that I had to kind of look past, because, you're talking about the whole decade. And the decade of, that, to me, that's the greatest time period, is 90 to 99. So it was, for that point, yes, it's very difficult, but trying to just keep in mind not to go, and because if I started researching, I probably wouldn't even make the show. I'd be like, fuck it, I got too many. I can't slim this down. Right. So it worked out.
Veg, what about you? Was this hard?
I think no, because I mean, again, there's a lot that was named that I had on my list, so I was able to pivot to other songs. And like Easy said, like even thinking about like Buster, like put your hands where my eyes can see, like hell yeah, like what I'm saying. So it was just so much to choose from that I thought was like impactful in a moment in hip hop. So I just kind of went down the line and just kind of, and somewhat like Ev said, I just thought about like times where I was somewhere, whether it was college or I was younger or whatever, and what that moment was like when that song was out being played. So it kind of made it easier than I thought, because allergies almost took me down. I almost didn't make the show. I called myself going into New York. I'm just walking around inhaling all this shit, When I got home, I was like, I'm about to text Kill because I'm dying. Okay, I can't make this show. But you know, I kind of remedied that. But and then I made my list because I made my list like 8 o'clock. So.
No, all right. What about you? E? Was this easy or hard?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, it was. I mean, there's a million ways you could have went with this, bro. Like, you could have went around the table 5 times, and we all could have had 12 different joints every time, all of us. You know, there was a lot of ways to go with it. What I did, you know, and you know, classics, they're classics for a reason. Classics are classics. So, you know, obviously there was a lot of songs that were repeated throughout the show. And I knew that would happen. That's why I told myself I'm going to stay away from those. Like, I tried staying away from, like, my favorite songs. But when I started writing, I started going right to, like, I went right to New York State of Mind, 10 Crack Commandments, Jay-Z a week ago, The Evils, like, shit like that. I'm like, that's not fun to me, though. So I wanted to make it a little more fun for myself. Then I'm like, I could literally make 15 lists of 12 DJ Premier beats alone. So I said, let me take it too, you know? So a lot of ways you could have went with this. You could have given each of us, you could have said, have you do 90, 91, Portia do 92, 93, Greg do 94, 95. Like, there's a million ways you could have spun this. So definitely challenging. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to take myself back to that time and the shit that really moved me and impacted me when I heard it.
Right.
Great conversation. It's always dope being up here.
Nah, I appreciate you, bro. Kel, what about you? Was this hard?
Yeah, it was difficult. I thought, kind of where it was at, you know, me. I had 12 songs.
Queens.
Of course,
right.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you know what? All right, let me expand a little bit more. Actually, I saw a commercial and it had the Far Side in it. So I was like, oh, it made me think about 90s, and it made me nostalgia, you know, go back to Morgan days and stuff like that. So I'm like, let me expand it to all the regions. I think, just like Ev said, the 90s to me is the most diverse decade. So you got East, West, South, Midwest, all, you know, dropping different styles and stuff like that. So I'm like, I can incorporate all that stuff into the top 12.
All right. And JR, what about you?
Once you kind of gave me what it was, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna have my favorites in there, and I'm like, easy. I think it's not fun when you're always just throwing your faves in there. Like, do something a little different. So when you said that the list had to be just straight up like not your faves, but if it was in a museum, these songs had to go in there. So it was like, oh, okay, with this, and this. So it was fun. It wasn't too tough with R&B for hip hop. It was for me a little bit, but R&B wasn't too bad. So.
Right. And for me, I don't know if niggas can see this. I mean, this is the list with just all the red markings on it. So I'm like 90, Bonita Applebum, Welcome to the Terradome, Rock This Funky Joint, Booming System, Slow Down. I'm like 91, Edo G, I Gotta Have It, Daylives, Ring, 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 Check the Rhyming Choices. You always 92, I'm like, They Want Effects, Take It Personal, Troy, Crossover, Best Kept Secret, What Comes Around Goes Around, Pass Me By, Nothing But G Thing, 93, Punks Jump Up to Get Beat Down. That was like an anthem, you know. Even Cool Like That. I hated that shit, but it was everywhere. You know what I mean? Hip Hop Parade, Onyx, Throw Your Guns, Cruise Pop, Break of Dawn, Chief Rocker, Electric Relaxation, 93 to Infinity, 94, 95 Bucktown, Brooklyn Zoo, Ice Cream, Across Race Car. I'm like, God damn, Raekwon ain't gonna make my list. Like, how is that possible? You know, like Easy said, Last Days, 96, Killing Me Softly, Lex Coops the Beamer, Renee. You know what I mean? Like Dead Presidents. I'm like, so it was so Lucchini, Hypnotized, Triumph, you know, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, Money, Power, Respect, Don't Want to Be a Player, you know, so Roots, You Got Me. There was just so many joints, but, you know, I'm glad we did this. Let them know where they can get all the music, what's good, where you gonna be at. I see you out there with NEMS. I see you moving and grooving, promoting this album. So, you know, you doing any shows, anything upcoming?
I've been talking about doing a couple things, but they're not in stone yet, so I don't want to throw them out there. But I'm at Easy Money ST everywhere. I'm, you know, Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. I gotta get these YouTube numbers up. They keep yelling at me about that. So at Easy Money ST everywhere. The Bandcamp is up. You know, the catalog. I got about 12 albums up there. So If you follow me, if you go on Bandcamp, you hear the music, you like it, hit me direct. I'll give you a deal on a bundle. You don't gotta pay for every CD individually there. You know what I mean? You know how it is. It's like the streets. But yeah, we moving around. Drug Money's out now with my dog Finelia. This is a very solid body of work. I think anybody who's into just that traditional East Coast shit, man, you gonna like it, because it's a lot. There's bars to spare, and one thing that I know Kill would appreciate is that there's 11 joints on here, and I think all but one got 48 bars. Kill's always talking about, I don't do 316s no more. So on this album, we got a lot of joints with 316s. We got 224s. We got 48 just about on everything on here. So, there's no shortage of bars there. We got my man Static did a joint. He did the latest single that we just put out called Unforgiven. My man Term is on there. My man Fabian. We me and P, we very capable MCs, so we try to keep it mainly us. But go on the Bandcamp, go through the catalog, Spotify, whatever title, whatever you use. I know I'm being long with it, but yeah, Easy Money ST on everything. Appreciate you having me, yo.
Oh, you already know, always open seat, and there are drums on it, y'all. So if you know how I feel about drums, so drums in more than one verse sounds good to me. Kel, where can they get at you, good brother?
It's at Big Kelvin Instagram.
All right, that's it. What happened with the Morgan thing? Did you win?
I won't know till Saturday.
You won't know till Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
No doubt. I don't know how you ain't Morgan's president, so I don't even know why we fucking around with alumni president shit. You need to be president of the whole fucking school, man. So I can't call that. JR, where can they get at you, good brother? What's going on in you and Elise's world?
Just more catch stats. The fan coaches is what we really rocking with. Really, people come in and talk about their artists. We ask them good and bad questions about their artists, which I think is dope. You know what I'm saying? With that whole stand culture and all that bullshit. So it's great that people can actually come and say what they don't like about their favorite artists. So that's dope. Catch That still going on. Catch That Mini still the same. JR Stacks Life will be out. This is episode 5. I'm talking about Eddie Floyd with Knock on Wood. So we're going to learn a little bit of some back stuff about that. Elise is putting up her vinyl themes. This will be out, so that'll be out for real. So we throwing out things out there. So just follow us on R&B Reps on Instagram, Twitter. Our website is rnbreps.com. JR's World of Soul on Instagram, Twitter, and everything else.
All right, no doubt. Veg, where can I get at you, bro?
All right, you can follow me on social media at Vegas World INC. And you can check out my podcast, Hip Hop Now Podcast, available in audio form on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all of that, but also on YouTube. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're at 8 right now. So 10,000 before the end of the year. These young cats, they love the shorts. And so I'm hitting them with the SEO, and it's working. But we just released a video on the channel. Me and Tone did another episode of That Time in Hip Hop, talking about Ruthless Records.
Y'all killed.
And, the impact Ruthless has, how like there's no Death Row without Ruthless Records, and the impact that Eazy-E had on the game. You know what I'm saying? As far as being a visionary for this label that not only included hip hop but also R&B. So you can check that out. And besides that, I'll be taking some meds and I ain't doing shit else. That's it.
P, where can I get at you, miss?
You know what? I'm barely on social media anymore. I guess Blue Sky at Cherche La Porsche.
All right. Ev, what's going on with you, good brother? What's going on with Prophet? What's going on with the music?
The Prophet album came out maybe like 2 months ago. It was not, I shouldn't say album. It's not an album at all. It's a very short EP snippet. It was something that was done in connection to the Prophet theater work, but the album itself was it's like an ode to a bunch of MCs that I came up with. We lost 4 brothers to health issues, and so it just it was kind of a dedication EP in that way for them. So a lot of stuff that's in there is just relevant to to that group of people. They know most of the stuff I'm talking about in that thing. But it was that, and the Prophet theater work. It's still moving. It's still pumping. We are gearing up for possibly another set of touring and performances within this year or maybe next year. So just trying to get some things moving with that. But yeah, you can catch me on Instagram, Ev-Assis, EV-ASIS, and 7NMS, also 7 names. You'll find a lot of information there with the Prophet work as well.
And where can they buy the album at?
The album is on all streaming platforms. It's under Mental Assis. The name of the album is called Aviyah, the Order of the Lyricists. So it's on, it's on your iTunes, your Spotify, and all the things like that. The vinyl, there is a vinyl press. Unfortunately, the vinyl right now is in a warehouse in Jersey because of the fires and things like that. So there is still a bunch of vinyl that's there, but I'm in Cali at the moment. So when I get back that way, then I can start distributing the vinyl stuff that's out like that. So if you're looking for vinyl, just hit me up and let me know. But I won't be able to get it till like another maybe 2-3 weeks.
All right, no doubt. You already know the bookworm is in me. So check out Do Remember, the whole book about classic mixtapes right here. I mean, this right here is just like fucking magic to my eyes. Just these old mixtapes. Kelvin, I know well too much. I would bug him and anybody from New York when they went home. Yo, here's $50. Bring me back the Clues, the SNSs, the Craig G's, the fucking people. Doo-Wop and the Bounce Squad. People forget that Buck Wild producer was originally a mixtape. Yeah, it had the Buck Wild mixtapes. God, just so many Ron G's, Force the Kid Capri's, and all that stuff. So you get the whole entire history in this. And I mean, this book even goes up to, the like later, like the Kanye West joints, the I'm Good mixtape. So this takes you from the old school all the way up till now.
Wait, what's the name of that book again?
It's called Do Remember, the golden era of NYC hip hop.
Used to say, "Do remember?"
I gotta hate that.
Yeah, Tony Touch, the Bad Boy mixtape, Funkmaster Flex, Love Bug, Starsky and Hollywood, the best of the DJ Mr. C, best of Biggie mix, like the DJ Clue joints, like all them joints right there. So
one big shout out to Morgan State and everybody that threw parties. I think damn near every DJ you named from the mixtapes did a party at Morgan.
All of them. All of them.
You know what I'm saying?
More than one. All of them.
And then a dope piece that they even talk about is they talk about how then you started to get the mixtape albums like the Funk Flex joints and stuff like that because the mixtapes was making so much noise. Kelv, these old DJ SNS joints.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So this was my guy right here, man. A lot of people didn't know about Dog Time, man. Dog Time out of Queens. Out of Queens. Dog Time out of Queens, man. Has some. Yep, the borough. They said Queens is the borough of the blends. Like that was it right there. So again, like you said, peace to Ron G, Busy B, so all the joints. So just a dope album. Definitely go out there and cop it. Kill 889 Twitter, IG. I'll check y'all next week. Good people. Thanks for coming through, y'all.